Child has died while in border control custody, the fourth since December. Guatemalan officials say the 2-year-old entered the country with a parent last month and was hospitalized for treatment of pneumonia, but later died. Opponents of Alabama's new abortion law plan a rally at the state capitol this weekend. Fox's Jonathan Seri.
The ACLU and Planned Parenthood say they're already planning a legal challenge to block Alabama's law before it takes effect in 6 months from now. Late yesterday, Republican Governor Kay Ivey signed a bill making it a Class A felony for doctors to provide abortions, except in cases where the woman's life is in danger. The new law makes no exceptions for rape or incest.
That law could result in 99-year prison sentences for doctors who perform the procedure. Another day of gains on Wall Street following positive earnings reports from Walmart and other companies, as well as better than expected labor and housing reports. The Dow closing 215 points higher. The S&P is up 25, with the Nasdaq ending the day 76 points in the green. This is Fox News.
Hi, welcome to this Subway ad for the new Sweet and Smoky Steak and Guac Signature Wrap. How would you like it?
I'll take my ex-girlfriend, just checking in.
Aw.
Hey, David, it's me, just checking in. I'm doing great. Just got the new Sweet and Smoky Steak and Guac Signature Wrap from Subway. Creamy guacamole, smoky sweet Wahio mesquite sauce, and double the tender steak. They just know what I want before I do. So, yeah, things are going pretty great for me. Subway, make it what you want. Limited time only at participating restaurants. Double meat based on average 6-inch sub. Okay, bye.
If you're driving, chances are you'll need gas soon. And by the growl in your tummy, a trip to the grocery store too. But don't just buy gas and groceries without getting double miles. Instead, apply for the new United Credit Card from First Hawaiian Bank and start earning double miles towards your next trip. Gas, groceries, getaway. With the new United Credit Card, apply at FHB.com. First Hawaiian Bank, member FDIC. Equal housing lender. Additional terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
Chicago police arresting several people after a woman's body is found and her baby was removed from her womb.
Police say the body of 19-year-old Marlon Ochoa was found Wednesday in a garbage can on Chicago's southwest side. 3 weeks after she went missing, she was 9 months pregnant. Her baby cut out of her body, allegedly by suspects who police say lured Ochoa by a Facebook post offering a free stroller and baby clothes.
I have a lot of pain, a lot of anguish, a lot of sadness.
Ochoa's husband and several people are in custody and facing charges. We're told the baby is hospitalized and in grave condition. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
10 people, including 5 Russian fugitives, are charged in connection with global software attacks that infected tens of thousands of computers and caused more than $100 million in financial losses. The malware enabled Eastern European hackers to take remote control of computers and siphon funds from victims' bank accounts. A Georgetown University student caught up in the college admissions scandal is fighting his expulsion.
Adam Sempervivo claims he had no knowledge his father paid $400,000 to help him get into Georgetown. He also says his due process rights were violated, and they should have been able to argue his case to the private school's executive board. His father, Steve Sempervivo, pleaded guilty to paying a former tennis coach to have him recruited on the team. Sempervivo is one of 2 students expelled from Georgetown in the college admissions scandal. Georgetown is not commenting on the pending litigation. In Washington, Rachel Sutherland, Fox News.
U.S. home construction rose last month, led by a rise in single-family homes. The Commerce Department's latest report showing home building rose 5.7% in April to a seasonally adjusted rate of just under 1.25 million. I'm Rich Dennison, and this is Fox News.
Valley Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Valley Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,600 by calling Valley Finance in Agutya at 475-4545, Upper Tumon at 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959.
Legends aren't born, they are made. And during our Jeep Celebration event at Cars Plus and Mighty, you'll receive up to $6,000 in accessories with the purchase of a new Jeep Wrangler, Motor Trend SUV of the Year. Customize your new Jeep to the way you want it. Or how about a new Jeep Grand Cherokee? Save up to $5,000. Or save up to $7,500 on a new Jeep Compass Sport. It's our Jeep Celebration event going on now at Cars Plus and Mighty. Cars Plus, driven by you. Accessory special cannot be combined with other offers. See dealer for details.
We know too well the inconvenience of not having power after a storm. You worry about food in the freezer going bad. Nights get hot. It's hard finding comfort when going to sleep. These are realities. But with solar and battery storage from Micronesia Renewable Energy, these realities can be a thing of the past. The solar works during the day and the batteries power your home at night. Call 632-2613 to see how solar plus battery storage can make life a little more convenient. MRE, the smarter choice.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 7 minutes past 6 a.m. this Friday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. One of two suspects is in custody for invading the Ordot home of 68-year-old Deanna Kittigwan Tuesday morning. 24-year-old Francis Jerome Tysican was arrested by Guam police yesterday on allegations of home invasion, burglary, and theft of property, among other charges. Tysican and another suspect, who remains at large, are accused of entering the home armed with a gun and a baseball bat and stealing the woman's purse, a pickle jar full of coins, and other items. GPD spokesman Sergeant Paul Tapau says police found the owner of the vehicle used in the crime, and that person identified Tysican and the second suspect as having borrowed the car. Police are searching for that second suspect, whose name has not been released. It is not Tysican's first arrest. He has a criminal history. He was accused in the June 2011 robbery at the Mermaid Tavern in Agana, and he was also accused in the Ebenezer store robbery in Jonia, as well as the Highway 57 Club robbery in Mighty. Delays in the construction of the new Marine Corps base in Finagaj and Dededo have postponed the arrival of the first contingent of U.S. Marines from Okinawa to Guam. Right now, we are on track for the first half of 2025, said Kelly Rodriguez, the Deputy of Communications at the Marine Corps Activity Office on Guam. It's all tied to the construction of the infrastructure that would support the Marines, she said. In May 2017, a statement from the Marine Corps to the Guam Daily Post projected the transfer of Marines would take place sometime in 2024. Now it's been delayed until sometime in the first half of 2025. The change is the result of the reassessment of where we are in progress on the construction, said Rodriguez. Japan's Kyodo News Agency recently reported that the first Marines from Okinawa would start arriving by October 2024, but Rodriguez explained that that was the result of a misunderstanding. We'll have more news after this.
KFC has finally answered the world's most important question. What came first, the chicken or the egg? And the answer is both. Introducing KFC's KFC AM, their new Southern and local-inspired breakfast. AM-loaded platter with chicken fried rice, waffles, and Colonel's chicken congee. KFC also has your all-time favorites, AM chicken and egg wraps, Southern biscuit and sausage sandwich, and hash browns. So for finger-licking good mornings, AM will never be the same at KFC. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
If you've ever struggled for breath, you know what a scary experience it is. Whether you have asthma, emphysema, COPD, lung cancer, or another respiratory illness, the right medical treatment makes all the difference. GRMC's Pulmonology Clinic has the latest technology and respiratory equipment, staffed by world-class pulmonologists. Make an appointment today with GRMC's Pulmonology Clinic and start breathing easier. GRMC, where patients are partners.
10 minutes past 6 a.m. here at The Point. Members of the administration's fiscal team were called before lawmakers yesterday afternoon to answer questions about a bill authorizing the government of Guam to borrow up to $30 million for the construction of an additional trash cell at the Luzon landfill. Senator Sabina Perez introduced the bill, saying, "If we don't get this funding, we risk the ire of the court and returning back to full receivership. Timing is of the essence," she said. The 2 existing trash cells at La Zone are expected to be full by 2021, and 2 dry seasons are needed to complete construction of a 3rd cell. That means construction must begin by July of this year. Senators sought assurances from the fiscal team that the bond borrowing would not result in an increase in monthly trash collection fees. Guam Economic Development Authority Administrator Melanie Mendiola said that the financing plan approved by the court shows that the Guam Solid Waste Authority is able to afford the payments for the bond without any increase in tipping rates. The session resumes at 10 o'clock this morning. A vote on the bond bill is expected today. The Department of Revenue Taxes authorized the Department of Administration to release a little more than $4 million in tax refund checks in the next few days. The checks are not being mailed out all at once, according to a joint statement from Revenue Tax and DOA. This round of refunds will cover at least part of the error-free income tax returns filed on January 29th. Roughly 1,200 checks are being mailed out. This is the 3rd batch of tax refund checks to be mailed out for the 2018 tax year. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray and Mike now with some weather.
It looks like partly sunny skies today with isolated showers, thunderstorms, then mostly cloudy with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms this afternoon and evening. Partly sunny Saturday and Sunday with some isolated showers. Southwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming south 10 to 15 miles an hour tomorrow. Daytime highs 88 degrees. Overnight lows over the weekend should be about 79. We'll watch the sunset today about 6:40 in the evening, and the sunrise was at 5:54 for those of you that are keeping track. Now, it's got some weird stuff going on with the weather here this morning, and the crazy radar, and that line of clouds that hasn't seemed to move at all. What's going on with that?
Yeah, well, yesterday when we were looking at things towards the end of the show, I was explaining that it was starting to look a little complicated out there, and it was kind of hard to tell what was actually going to happen. I think I've kind of put my finger on what actually happened. What was 93W? If you remember yesterday, we talked about how it was a long trough. And it had, kind of 2 ends on it. Well, it looks like the northern end of that, which was one that was closest to us, hit the energy from that shear line, or what appeared to be some shear line energy that came on down. And the moisture butted up against that, and that's raining out all to the east of us. Yeah. So 93W and its rain never actually got here. And it looks like the what circulation there was with this 93W has relocated now well down to our southwest, at the other end of the trough where it was yesterday. So I think this is what you see is what you get, and this is actually starting to dissipate pretty quickly.
Is it?
Yeah, the shear line is think of it as a little ripple in the atmosphere, almost like a little wave, and this rain came on moving up into it and just got lifted up, and it's getting squeezed out, and now it's done.
But it's just staying there. It's just
it really
stationary.
is,
That's
yeah,
weird.
and it's basically just raining itself out over the waters there. You do see some showers down to the south of us. Again, there's a chance we'll see some showers throughout the weekend, but those chances just got a whole lot less.
All right, so we're still now. What's the deal with the thunder? There's been a light show all morning long.
Yeah, and again, that's just the focus of the moisture being lifted up by that energy right there, that little ripple in the atmosphere, and that lets those clouds build on up. But again, that's all going to stay offshore and dissipate.
Grill marks this weekend?
Yes.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Gotcha. 6:14. That's news and weather together, brought to you by Bank Pacific, where others put branches, they place roots.
Business travel just got easier. Take your data plan with you for only $10 a day to all 17 Data2Go destinations. Never worry about additional data roaming charges when you go where your business needs you. The U.S., China, Thailand, and so much more. Have the assurance you need to check emails, surf the web, and stay connected. Call 688-2677 today to make sure your account is Data2Go ready. Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Portions of the Ray Gibson Show brought to you by American President Lines. Remember, APL is shipping the future. Guys over at Micronesia Renewable Energy, there's never been a better time to go solar. And now, especially because they've got those battery systems that now go and match up with your solar system, so you almost don't need GPA anymore. Imagine that, a world without having to pay GPA bills. How fun is that? Give them a ring, why don't you, at Micronesia Renewable Energy. And don't forget the King's Crazy 19 menu. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, appetizers, desserts, all reconfigured and reflavored for you. Try them now at King's in Tamuning and Harmon.
In illness and in wellness, Calvo's Select Care is health care that is there for you. That's why over 80% of the Guam medical community places their trust and insures with us. We offer our members wellness and fitness programs for a healthier lifestyle and provide a comprehensive medical network on and off island to help members from unexpected illnesses. Contact Calvo's Select Care today for more information.
I got you. Portions of the program also brought to you by Guam Regional Medical City, the first choice for all of your specialty care needs. You know, they're working with Christian now, Dr. Christian and Eusebio, and he's doing a thing with them where they're launching a bariatric, is that the right way to say it? A bariatric surgery. So if you're up around 35 or so BMIs while you're doing your mathematics, that's morbidly obese. And now there is a way here on Guam where they can do the surgery in the intestines and in the stomach that could help you lose weight and help you live longer and healthier. Also being brought to you by Cars Plus, where they're still in the middle of the Jeep Celebration event. $6,000 in accessories when you buy a brand new Jeep Wrangler. Get to Cars Plus today before they're all gone. And then insure it with Nanbo Insurance. They've got a great bundle-up plan. You call them today at 477-9754, and they'll tell you how they've done the insurance calculus to be able to turn your insurance bill, make it up to 50% less this year. Call them, 477-9754.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
The celebratory noise that we're going to be making because it's Friday.
Yeah, studio audience is a little excited this morning.
And then there's a lot to be excited about because it's Friday in the month of May into the third weekend of my month-long celebration of my 57th birthday. And so just if you see me out after midnight anywhere this weekend, please send me home. just remember what you've said on the air, Ray. Nothing good happens after midnight. Go home, son. Go home. It's 6:17 in the morning. Welcome to the broadcast. Excuse the mess. The Ray Gibson Show until it's not going to be anymore. And as usual, just absolutely thrilled and delighted to be able to spend another day with broadcast professionals like Michael Knight, my weather whisperers out there. And it was wonderful. A guy walks into the building this morning and begins almost immediately to talk about weather. And I was, getting the show prep going and trying to find out what it was that I was going to be, riffing on this morning and who I was going to be annoyed at. And he starts in with a very complex explanation of why there's thunder but no rain.
Yeah. It kind of blew my mind. I got up a little early this morning. Thank you, Kat. And
thank you, Kat.
And I was kind of sitting up, and then I saw a flash out my window, and I'm like, well, what's that? And I looked
There are
out,
people
and there's-
taking pictures of you in your sleepiness.
Of course. Well, that's what happens when you work with Ray Gibson.
Yeah, buddy.
So I was like, what's going on? Looked at the radar, and then I saw that mess south to the east. But it was moving weird, and I'm like, oh gosh, I don't even know what's happened. So it's taken me this long to actually kind of get a handle on what's going on. I've reached out to I believe Landon at the National Weather
did you?
Service. Yeah, I did personally, just to kind of ask him, is my theory right about this shear line? Again, this is kind of guesswork on my part because I am an amateur. I'm not really and there are ways to verify things, and that's why I
called
say
the weather guy.
yeah, and so that's why I was sharing the information with some of my other weather buddies in our typhoon season group, and they were kind of with me. And of course, some of those guys are Mets as well. So I just kind of try to bounce it off of several people that actually know what the heck's going on, so that I can make sure if I theorize something, I'm actually right.
All right, and so maybe you have the same reaction as me. Well, that's way too much information. Is it going to rain today, or is it not going to rain today? And the answer is yes. Either one of those questions. Anyway, so I got Mike, the weather whisperer. You can also reach out to him and ask him all kinds of weather questions. You can ask him all kinds of questions about all kinds of stuff because we're experts at we know a lot about we know a little bit about a lot of stuff around here. We are the guys that you want on your trivia team if you're going to be doing anything like that soon. Anyway, so Mike, you can reach out to him at 888-8255. 855-888-TALK. And don't forget the WhatsApp number, which is 988-5874. And lately we've been getting a lot of sunrise pictures and some shots of what it might be looking like outside your back door on early mornings. And Ken has been sending some great pictures of the vistas that he gets at the sunrise. This one here, Ken Leon Guerrero's Trail to the Kitchen Door. And that's how he has titled that. Absolutely gorgeous plants that you got there in the background, and what looks like a coconut tree that doesn't look like it has been yet infested by rhinoceros beetles. Good for you. Good going on that one. Hope it stays like that. You got some more pictures like that. Sunset last night, sunrise this morning. Be happy to get those and put them on the actual Facebook Live just because they're so pretty, and it gives you an excuse to goof off with us here at the radio station. Kevin Kerrigan from the Guam Daily Post online with me this morning. Good morning, Kevin. How are you doing?
Happy Friday.
Yes, indeed, is it?
Yes.
It's a happy Friday. You got plans for the weekend?
Sleeping.
Sleeping?
Yes.
That's it?
Oh, that's about it, yeah.
No adventures lined up?
You got any plan?
Gonna go make
any ideas?
What? No, I've become one of those guys. I try
Maybe
not to
I'll
make
run
plans.
a marathon.
I try not to make any plans for the weekend because I constantly want to be surprised at the level of fun that I've had and how it all started. 6:21 in the morning, and we'll find out from Kevin in a few more minutes about some of the other big stories that we've got in the Guam Daily Post. And you take a look at the front page of it. Another home invasion suspect has criminal past. You're kidding. Really? Oh, my God. This guy here, they picked up Francis Jerome Tysick. And why is that name familiar? There's been another Tysick in the news recently. Not this guy, but I mean somebody he might be related to. I couldn't remember what it was, and I haven't had a chance to do the research on it. But another home invasion suspect has got a criminal past. This guy here been busted over the years. 24-year-old man, police arrested on suspicion. This is the guy. This is one of the guys that apparently did the home invasion on the 68-year-old woman. Don't have any information on his accomplice, but this guy here has been picked up by the police and charged with that particular offense. Armed with a gun and a baseball bat, made their way into a woman's home and home invasion on him. We'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. Anyway, 6:22 in the morning. We don't normally start early with interviews. I like to get started with see who's on Facebook Live. But in this case, don't have much of a choice because I got a congressman on the line, Mike St. Nicholas. Good morning, Congressman.
Hey, Ray. Good morning. Good to hear from you, man.
Well, it's always good to hear from you. I wanted to touch base with you real quick yesterday, actually, but you have been busy and I believe traveling. So I wanted to find out a little bit more about your relationship with the Hispanic Caucus and how that could help bring about SSI for Guam.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm a member of the caucus. We were able to get on the caucus. It's ethnically based, and so my last name is San Nicolas, and so I'm able to get on the Hispanic Caucus, and we've gotten on, and I brought on a really good staffer, Elidio Pinheiro. He's from Guam. He's married to Michelle Moffinis up at Astumbo Middle School, and with his help, this guy speaks fluent Spanish. He's a real go-getter. He really knows how to work the room, and we were able to really make some strong inroads into the Hispanic Caucus. We helped them out on some of their issues, and so they circled back with us, and now the entire Hispanic Caucus has officially endorsed the passage of H.R. 208, which is the first bill I introduced on my first day to get supplemental security income for Guam. And so the Hispanic Caucus is 38 members strong. It's one of what's called the tri-caucuses out here in the Congress. We have the Hispanic Caucus, the Black Caucus, and the Asia Pacific Caucus. And so for us to be able to get their endorsement for our legislation is a really big step forward. And it's just part of our process of just, really ramping up support for this and trying to get as many co-sponsors and support bases as we can to get it onto the floor.
You have any indication of when that bill might be heard?
It's in Ways and Means right now. And the way we're going to be able to move it forward to get it heard is it's going to require a Congressional Budget Office scoring. And the bottom line is because this is going to result in a new cost center for the supplemental security income pool of funds.
Right.
It will get scored as something that's going to cost money. And so anytime something scores to cost money, that immediately raises some hairs on some members out here, particularly on the Republican side of the aisle.
Sure.
And so if we're going to move SSI forward, given the fact that it is going to be a cost center, we're going to need to rally as much votes as possible in order for us to be able to even get it into the hearing phase. And so before we can get a hearing, we need to just really marshal as many members as possible to get on board with it, and getting the Hispanic caucus is a big step forward for that.
I understand. Yeah. Now, is this one of those pay-go deals? Are you going to have to find the funds in order to fund SSI for Guam?
Well, yes and no, and here's why. SSI, as a program that basically caters to a population that is constantly shifting in terms of its numbers. If more people are applying for SSI on any given day, then the costs for SSI are going to increase. And so getting Guam included into SSI is going to increase those costs. But because our population is relatively small compared to the rest of the nation, I'm making the case to members that even if this is going to increase the cost of SSI, it's almost like an organic increase in terms of the dollars and cents. I mean, based on our preliminary discussions of the Congressional Budget Office, it's estimated to be about maybe $40 million a year. But in the grand scheme of the overall SSI amounts that are funded throughout the country, $40 million is a rounding error.
Yeah. And
really that's something that would naturally occur just based on organic population growth. And so I'm saying that while it would fall under PAYGO, because we've made it a standalone bill and it's just for Guam and the population numbers are not that significant, we really should be able to just fold this entire sum into what would be considered the organic growth of the Supplemental Security Income Program. So, that kind of messaging is resonating with some members, but definitely the whole PAYGO mentality is something that we're going to have to overcome, and that's why we need to get as many members as possible behind this before we can really move it forward with some momentum.
Hey, while I got you on the phone, a quick question about how we're doing with trying to get the authorization now to pay out of the Treasury for the World War II survivors. Any movement on that?
Yes and no. I've sat down with the chair of Natural Resources, and he's given me a firm commitment for us to be able to move this forward into an actual hearing and a markup in our June markup for the Natural Resources Committee. But also the war claims, it's that for some very strange reason is also scoring as a cost center on the PAYGO rules.
What?
Which is very strange to me.
Wait, the funding is coming from us.
Yes, I know, and that's why I even sat down with the chair of the Budget Committee, Chairman Yarmouth, and I said, Mr. Chairman, can you go back to the CBO folks, because CBO is almost like a OFD for the Guam legislature. It's more of a bureaucratic function within the Congress. And I think, can you circle back and can we really vet this out one more time? Because while they may score it as a cost center, that's money that's already supposed to be due for Guam. We're already setting that money aside to be able to pay for this. We're not asking for new funding. We're not asking for new appropriations. And so I don't understand why this would score as a cost center when it's a funding source that was already committed to Guam. So, that's really causing a lot of discussion, actually, among some of the members of the Natural Resources Committee, because they're like, what's up with this PAYGO, and why are they looking at things from those lenses when, this is very clearly just a reprogramming of existing money. It's not new money that's being committed.
Yeah, it's Section 30 money. It's funds that would normally be coming. In fact, that we can't touch those funds because they're limboed.
Yeah, and this is one of those examples of how, you have certain bureaucrats who are just used to, analyzing things in a certain way and giving it almost like a generic response. And so we're trying to educate members, we're trying to educate CBO, and I'm hoping that we can find a workaround. But all of that notwithstanding, because I had this conversation with Chairman Grijalva in the Natural Resources Committee, he agrees with me. And so PAYGO notwithstanding, he's willing to have the markup hearing. And in that markup hearing, we can make this case all over again. And in that markup hearing, I know that there are a lot of members who are familiar with the war claims journey over all these years. And so I'm hoping that in the course of getting that markup and having these conversations, we'll be able to rally support to get this thing through.
Keep an eye on that. And we all enjoyed the video that you posted the other day being introduced as the congressman from Guatemala.
Yeah, as much as, on the surface, we may take that as like something, as a bit of a slight. We always just try and take these opportunities and we judo it and we turn it into something positive by taking the opportunity to show our graciousness and our magnanimity and tell people, hey, you know, everyone makes mistakes, but I'm the guy from Guam, and this is our story. And people listen when you handle it well.
I thought so. But the other part of the speech was you went into sales mode. You were talking to these businesses and business leaders and business thinkers about onshoring on Guam. It's the old America in Asia story that gets better and better every time you tell it, with all of the different technology that comes through here, the fact that the U.S. flag flies over Guam, the fact that we've got U.S. court systems that are available to businesses that are familiar with that kind of thing. I thought that was a well-processed speech that you delivered.
Thanks, Ray. And, it's actually interesting you bring that up because I just got out of a meeting in our Financial Services Committee, and it was a briefing set up by the chairwoman for the Ex-Im Bank, the Export-Import Bank, that is one of the federal programs that supports exporters and helps to provide guarantees for their business lines and helping them to be able to secure contracts with the guarantees of the federal government to backshore their transactions. And I brought up to the Ex-Im Bank folks who were there, and I said, I've never heard of this before, and I'm from Guam, and we're a territory, and, Guam is the westernmost United States jurisdiction. If anybody wanted to aggregate their products on Guam and export them into major Asian cities, we're the place to go. If we had known about this, we have a lot of enterprising individuals on our island who I think would have availed of Export-Import Bank guarantees to be able to be aggregators for U.S. products to be warehoused on Guam and transshipped out to Asia. And I told him, I said, one of our biggest hurdles with respect to our shipping costs is we import 98% of our products, but we don't export anything.
Right.
And so the ships come in full, but they leave empty. And if we can avail of Export-Import Bank guarantees and begin aggregating U.S. products and filling those ships and sending them out to Asia, those are really big opportunities for us. So we're having that conversation every time it comes to the table, and we're really looking for those kind of opportunities to be able to bring back home to our people.
There is an interesting conversation that has started, and I think there's going to be work taking place in Washington, D.C., based on an amendment, I believe, to the NDAA that had been introduced by Congressman or Representative Schatz from the state of Hawaii that would make some serious changes to the MSP authorizations for Guam and other jurisdictions around the country, essentially making it so that MSP carriers cannot do business out here. This would certainly affect American President lines and their ability to ship goods in and out of the island, number one. And number two, I think that could set the stage for some kind of artificial monopoly going on around here. Have you had a chance to review that, and are you going to be taking any action on it?
We've actually reviewed it. We've transmitted a letter, and based on our communications and the feedback that we're getting, I think Senator Schatz is going to be pulling that amendment back.
Oh, that's good news. That's good to hear. Yeah. Good to hear. All right, now, and as I said, that's supposed to be.
We heard that.
Yeah, it's like a 2025 deal, but they're going to be putting that amendment in the very near term, like within days in Washington D.C. You think you might be able to get in front of that, huh?
I think that based on the conversations we've had, the amendment might not be moving forward at this time.
Gotcha. Congressman Mike St. Nicholas, I appreciate your time. Where on the planet are you, by the way?
I'm standing right outside of my building. I'm in Washington, D.C.
All right. Well, you have a fantastic afternoon. We'll talk again soon. See you when you get home.
Thanks, Ray. Bye-bye.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you later. My buddy, the congressman, ladies and gentlemen, and a little bit of touch and go there on a couple of very hot topics between here and Washington, D.C. 6:33 in the morning. Time for headlines from the Guam Daily Post. Here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. In the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning, community activist Ken Leon Guerrero is seeking a court order to force the Consolidated Commission on Utilities to release records of a November 2018 closed-door meeting at which pay raises for utility executives were discussed. The Guam Daily Post submitted its own request for those minutes, as have other media, and Bob Klitsky, an attorney who currently hosts the Tall Tales program here on The Point. CCU commissioners have discussed releasing the minutes of last November's executive session, but CCU Chairman Joey Duenas said he would be uncomfortable releasing the minutes, not knowing for sure which portions should be redacted and who would decide which portions are releasable. Duenas has said it would be best if a judge were to order the release of those records, should the court deem any portion of them releasable. Meanwhile, Senator Clint Rigel yesterday announced that his committee, which oversees utilities, will hold an oversight hearing on the issue related to those pay raises in that closed-door meeting for next week on Thursday. Senator Kelly Marsh is working with the Mayor's Council of Guam to allow tourists access to use the restrooms at the mayor's community centers and the mayor's offices throughout the island. The senator is the chair of the legislature's Committee on Parks. In a release yesterday, she said one of her priorities is to work with the mayors to address the lack of access to restrooms and at community parks, which are supposed to be maintained by the Department of Parks and Recreation. Parks and Rec, however, has said that they lack the staff to maintain the public restrooms, many of which have been vandalized and are now locked and unusable. The senator said tour companies will be provided with the locations identifying the restrooms if the mayors approve the plan. Take Care and Mega Drug Pharmacy have struck a deal that will expand Take Care's pharmacy services as well as extend hours of operation. Under the arrangement, Mega Drug will take over operations at the FHP pharmacy in Tamuning, which will become known as a Mega Drug Pharmacy. It will be Mega Drug's third and largest location on island. In a release yesterday, Take Care said that the outsourcing of the pharmacy services at their FHP clinic will allow the clinic to focus resources on its core clinical practices. Take Care CEO Joseph Husline said the arrangement with Mega Drug extends pharmacy hours for customers and allows Take Care members to take advantage of Mega Drug's exceptional service. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
Thank you, Kevin. 6:36 in the morning, and we'll call that iConnect time. Give them a ring later on and find out about the great plans that they've got for you. 2019, they've got the handle on some really good internet and mobile plans that will help you take care of all of your communication needs without costing you an arm and a leg. That's at iConnect.
The Crazy 19 menu at King's Restaurants is back with all your breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites. Fun pancakes, tasty sandwiches, and the local dishes you crave for a limited time on the Crazy 19 menu at King's.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on The Point. Half a day. I'm Mark Benventi of Santa Rita, and this is where I start my day. Listening to the voice of our community and sharing thoughts and issues that affect us all. It all boils down to our people, our land. Protei Igumama. Protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
Kim Young from Security Title reporting that it's like Star Wars up in the sky here this morning, as with all of the thunder bumpers and the lightning that we're seeing. Actually, not getting so much noise, but certainly seeing the flashes out early in the early morning skies here. What have we got for you on the traffic gizmo? Don't see a whole lot that is happening right now. As I zoom into the northern end of the island, it looks like there might be a little bit of northbound traffic that will slow you down just after Paris Acres, but before you get too far north. Doesn't look like it's going to slow you down if you're headed up in the Jigo area past that. Route 3 starting to busy up over by the schools. Also, the intersection down there, traffic in both directions as a result of the traffic light here is moving a little bit slower than normal. But once you get past that, should be smooth sailing all the way into the upper Tumon area. Maybe a little bit of slowdown over by DPW and Kmart. But then if you're headed all the way into town, you shouldn't see anything slowing you down all the way into the downtown Hagetnia area. Route 4 running clear. Route 8 running clear. 10 and 16 looking pretty good right now. Let me just scooch over and see if there's anything over by Navy and Sumai. Starting to busy up here as a lot of people headed in that direction. 6:38, that's right now traffic on the point.
Let's go for a drive.
Let's take a stroll. Let's gallivant. Let's go cruising.
We all have different ways to describe how we get up and go in our cars. But whatever you may call it, you can do more of it when you save 6% off your fuel purchases at any Shell station when you use your eligible Bank of Guam Visa and MasterCard credit cards. So stop by any Guam or CNMI Shell station and start saving today. Visit bankofguam.com for more information. Terms and conditions apply. Bank of Guam, the People's Bank. Member FDIC.
News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-8255.
That's it. This is my editorial contribution. This is what I get to do every day between 6 o'clock in the morning and 10 o'clock in the morning. Observances and rantings and riffs about some of the things that I think are interesting in this particular community that we call home. 888-8255-888-TALK. You know what I haven't had a chance to do yet?
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You want to be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You want to be where everybody knows your name.
Now, you might be one of those people that doesn't wake up at 6 o'clock. Maybe you're like a 6:30 riser and going, what the heck, he's playing that Cheers theme. What's going on? One of the things I like to do is say good morning and acknowledge the presence of a bunch of really, really important people on Facebook Live. I'm here, but I'm really, really glad you're there. Guys like Rico Blancaflor online, James Howard, Cheryl Ochai. Randy Kruger is online this morning. I see Rudy Magallanes there. John Nicholas with his Good Friday morning, everybody. Who else is playing around? Therese Uggen-Rigel. Now, it says Therese Uggen-Rigel, but is that really Therese Uggen-Rigel, or is that Clint using his wife's account to watch what's going on here? My very close, very dear personal friend Simon Sanchez is online, and he and I are working to make sure that a particular fundraiser is completely and totally sold out. I'll tell you more about that in a second. Patty Santiago there, Joey San Nicolas is online. Huffa Lillian Cruz and Gina Kono and Carlos Barreto. Carlos and I working with Ernie Galito and others on the 40th anniversary Ray Gibson Show. It's not 40 years that I've been on the point, obviously, but this summer, I am just pleased and humbled to tell you I'm going to be celebrating 40 years as a broadcaster. It was the summer of 1979 when I first started working at the lonely hilltop of Barrigada, behind Barrigada Heights, back when there really wasn't much by way of a road that would take you from the front of Barrigada Heights to the back, where Ed Poppy had radio station KSTO. This is back in this is olden days of broadcasting, when you broadcast where the transmitter was, not necessarily in some kind of fancy downtown location, and we bounced the signal to the transmitter site. We actually broadcast at the base of the tower.
That's when you rode a Triceratops to work.
Oh,
right?
it was but it was a while ago. Different times, different technologies, and it's been such a fantastic ride. So the guys over at BMW, AK BMW, you can see the building going up. Some great construction that's taking place on Marine Corps Drive. Nice. So we'll do at the end of this month. There's going to be a groundbreaking and a hello ceremony for BMW, and then I believe on the 7th, Friday the 7th, we'll be doing a live broadcast from down there. And Carlos Barreto, if I hold my nose right, is going to make it so that you'll be able to watch it. And I hope that many of you will have a chance to come by and visit and say hello. Where was I? Lillian Cruz is online. Gina Kono, Carlos, Pam Duvall is there, and Pam sent up some beautiful pictures of what sunrise was looking like at her particular location this morning. And there it is. You can see a little bit of just light over the horizon here when she sent that particular picture. Who else is playing around here? What else do I have that I want to say hello to? Tomas Tenorio Bernardo, Alfredo Mendoza is online here this morning. Yoich Rengil, Flo Cruz saying, half a day, Ray. Well, thank you very much. I put the little Valentine's sticker on that one. O'Neill Tutao says, Yoich. Who else is on? Tinelta, Nelson Mori is there. Edith Camarillo, Francis Salas. I got Richard Fee. Nice to get you. One of my favorite retirees. You absolutely have got to be following Richard Fee on Facebook. If you're not, you're missing out on some really, really interesting posts. Eunice Mendiola is there. So is Rod Rose Greeno. And Rose sent me this thing yesterday. And I want to make sure that you know that the nurses giving back to the community health fair is going to be taking place Sunday at the Micronesia Mall Center Court. Free admission, open to the public. Get there early because my recollection is this fills up really, really fast. Free on-site health screenings for blood glucose, blood pressure, blood glucose. You need to know your sugar numbers. Blood pressure, body mass index. Like I said, I had Dr. Christian Eusebio in the studio the other day talking about morbid obesity, and if your body mass index is 35 plus, you could be in trouble. Find out what your body mass index is absolutely free. They'll do health counseling and plenty more. Free mixed fit And if I was to go back to one of those Jimmy things and do, you know, kind of a organized fitness, it would be Mixed Fit. There's Zumba there, free entertainment, raffle prizes, and more. 10 to 2 at the Micronesia Mall Center Court. Thanks, Rod Rose Greeno, for sending that over. Stasha St. Nicholas there. Bob and Connie Bartonico are online, and I want to say happy birthday to Bob Bartonico, running buddy of mine and fellow class of 1980 graduate from Bob and Connie graduates from John F. Kennedy High School. Did you go watch the John Wick the Third movie last night? No, Ray, it's not John Wick the Third, you dope. It's John Wick 3 with Halle Berry. Yes, the big fundraiser for JFK's class of 1980 last night. There'll be others. I'll let you know about them as they come along. Mike McCarthy is on. I got Mark Mendiola, Ike Aseki, Kenny Williams talking about the swarm of termites last night. Getting thicker, isn't it? And it's like that, you know. If you know the way of the termites here on Guam, it starts with just one or two here and there, and then pretty soon you can't go outside at 6:45 at night without sucking a couple of those things in. But it'll eventually subside. It's not something that's going to take us all the way through the summer, but it does make a few nights of the early summers almost, what's the word I'm looking for? Intolerable, almost unbearable.
That's why the beard is handy, because you can save barbecue sauce from the barbecue, and then when you suck them down, you...
Yeah, you get a little extra flavor with the protein there. Dave Torrey is online. I got Ken LG, old single-wide modular with the killer view of the sunrises. You're absolutely right. Nick Perlowski, remembering KATB in Menangan Valley. You know what? I never worked at KATB, but I had a lot of love and respect for the guys that did, because they had the coolest DJ names. Right? You think back in the old days, Banana Dan and Red Snapper and names like that. Alex Affligui is online. Thunderstruck morning, sir, Ray. I'm glad. I got to take care of this though, and it is the lineup of the guys that got in first. This also, for those of you just tuning in, going, okay, so he reads the names of the people that are online. That's cool. We also try to mark the guys that get in there first. So Ismael Velez is among the first. Al Bautista, Pat and Norma Jean, Heather Perez. I got James Howard came in 5th place. Landon Nadler, Tony and Annette and Pinko Ada, Nick Perlowski, Nate Horn at number 9, and at number 10, Anita Muffness with the Valentine's eyes. That's what's worth waking up early for. 888-8255-888-TALK is my telephone number. You got more stuff like this. The nurses giving back to the community health fair. By all means, send it to me. I get email at all kinds of addresses. RayGibsonShow@gmail.com or bounce it to me on Facebook Live, or send me the information that you want me to pass along to listeners on the WhatsApp, the radio station WhatsApp, which is 988-5874, 988-5874. Just put that into your cell phone. You never know when you're going to need it. Louis Cabral sent me a notice about something that's going to be happening at the museum this morning at 9. It is Tourism for Tossie, and a big forum that's going to be going on. Louis, tell me a little bit more about this forum and why I should ponder leaving the studio earlier to go hang out with you guys.
Okay. Unfortunately, I won't be there till the one on the 22nd because I've got dive students this morning. Unfortunately, at the same time that this is going on.
Well, you have what kind of students do you have this morning?
Scuba diving.
Oh, dude, I'm totally jelly. Do you need a safety guy? Do you need just somebody that?
You're also certified. I keep forgetting that.
Yeah, I'm a certified advanced from back in the Nowie days, dude.
And I also keep forgetting, since this is the year of my class reunion, which is the year before you, 79, 40 years, you bring back memories of Chicken Lips Disco.
Wow, that is a long time ago, dude. Okay, so we'll talk about Tossie. It's fitting that we're talking about a Tossie get together and diving at the same time. So one of these days we'll get you back on the radio and we'll talk about some great dive opportunities. When I was diving in the 80s, back in the olden days, we had these old refurbished PT 109s, and Pete Peterson would take us out to all kinds of places. But pretty soon you get kind of dived out on Guam. Are there new places to go diving? Are there new spots?
There might be. People are working on that, and that's where this. I'm going to slide us into it, which is perfect, because the Tossie thing involves not just diving, but basically overall water use, is my understanding. Because Mallory Morgan from the Bureau of Statistics and Planning went around to survey and talk to companies and other folks about using how we use the water, and everybody's on reef conservation and everything else has been going on. I just wanted to make sure that that flyer got out because, you know, this involves everybody. It's not just the dive operations or the hotels that get out there in the water every morning, or the parasail or the jet skis or what have you. But it involves everybody on how we use the reef and how we use the waters. And I think everyone needs to be involved in that because it's one of our greatest resources. And I think one of the biggest things that prompted me to do this is when I saw that article in the paper about you can't sell octopus, you can catch it and can't consume it. And I know me and my fishing buddies were all like, since when did this law come into place? I mean,
I had the same feeling. It's wait a second. I like octopus. I don't know how to catch octopus, and honestly, even if I knew where in the reef they were hiding, I don't know if I want to touch a live octopus with my hands.
Yeah, but part of it was just that fact that all of a sudden, there are a bunch of us that didn't know. But that's why I felt it's important to make sure it got out, because when I saw Jerry and I asked him if you guys saw this, and he went, no, I said, okay, I want to make sure you guys got it. But it is happening, one today. There's one on the 22nd, and there's one on the 24th. There are different hours for those, because I know on the 22nd that I'm going to involve operators in the industry, all the different groups, and they're trying to get everybody there. They do want to hear from everybody. I don't have full details on it, but from what I've been hearing, people want to go because it's going to make a difference on how we use our waters. And we want to make sure that we have a say in it. We don't want to find out that, like that octopus law, that all of a sudden there are some rules made. And if I go step in the water, I don't want to find out that when I come back out that I've got, somebody glaring down at me saying, here's a ticket or something like that. Right. Just like the fact that, for a lot of us, we didn't realize that there's a maritime law regarding whether you're a spear fisherman or even a scuba diver, you're supposed to have a float out there.
And that's the law?
Yeah. It's a maritime law where you actually, welcome to diving. It's been a while. There is a law that states that we have to have a float out there, especially where, how does it's termed? Where there are navigable waters, which includes even like fisheye because they paddle kayaks around.
Right.
You're supposed to have some sort of flag or dive flag representing that there are divers in the vicinity.
I always thought it was a good practice as a diver. I didn't realize that there was an actual mandate, some kind of statute that required it all the time. This is a good idea. So 9 o'clock this morning, you and other stakeholders, and not necessarily you, but other stakeholders and policymakers are going to be getting together. Do we have a buy-in from anybody over at the legislature to ensure that they're going to be there? I mean, there's I want to say Senator Sabina Perez with a piece of legislation that would ban spear fishing and scuba diving.
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly who's going to be there, but like I said, Mallory would be the perfect person to get more information from. But my goal at this point was just to make sure enough people knew about it that, to go.
I can't talk to Mallory without flirting, so they won't let me call her.
Control yourself.
Impossible.
Yeah, but the whole idea from me was to make sure enough people knew and to be there, because I think this is something that everyone has to be involved in, not just divers, fishermen, but right down to snorkelers. Because you've got, the tourism industry. You've not been around long enough to see how Cumana's grown and all the stuff that goes on down there. And if you look at now, like fisheye, how much use we get out of our water.
The density at that location is incredible. I mean, we've got the dive place right across the street. We've got the park that goes along with it. But it is amazing how busy that place is on a daily basis, kind of all day. So it's being put together by the Guam Coral Reef Initiative, 9 o'clock this morning. And I tell you what, maybe we will try to control myself and get Mallory on to talk about the one that you're going to be doing on the 22nd.
Good man.
All right, buddy. Listen, I'll talk to you pretty soon. Have a great weekend.
You too, Ray.
I promise. 6:53. Luis Cabral on the line this morning talking about that get together over at the. That's going to be, I believe, at the museum. Yeah, 6:54 in the morning. 888-255-888-TALK. Items in the table of contents. Well, let me see. Yesterday, I bored you to death with a conversation about the creepy guy that came visiting me at 9:30 the other night, banging on the door, asking for Jenna. And my response was, there's no Jenna here. I have a gun. Go away. And he did go away. And I played the video, and a couple of people asked for copies, including a couple of friends over at the Guam Police Department. And maybe he was just drunk and lost and tweaking on something, or maybe he was setting me up for a home invasion. I ain't taking any chances, and I don't want you to take any chances either. There's a bunch of crazy out there. We have got better than our share of nut jobs in this town, and in some cases, they can be violent. So think about a means of protecting yourself from them and their kind over the weekend. And no reason why you can't start thinking about means of self-defense. And also means of being able to detect when there's a problem. I've told you I got alarm system at the house. I got the video surveillance system at the house, and I have added to it yesterday. I was looking around because I've got video of the guy walking to the house, but I don't have any good shots of his face, which ticks me off. I don't have, I didn't install the camera in a place where I could get a great shot of this guy's face. And I fixed that yesterday. There is a device called the Ring. It is an Internet of Things enabled doorbell. And when you press the doorbell, just the mere fact that you've walked up to the doorbell will start a recording process, and I'll get an email. It'll send me a notice on my phone that I've got somebody at the front door. When you press the doorbell, for sure, it begins the recording process. And you can get them at Home Depot for $199. This is a DIY install. If you're mounting it on something that's concrete, you might need a drill. And it comes with a drill bit and the anchors and the screws. I mean, these guys think of everything. A couple of different colors for the face plates and all of that. And I was able to get the thing installed in, 5 minutes or something like that. It comes with an app. So, like I said, if somebody breaks the plane on the security features, it will send you an email and let you know to look at your phone, and you can talk to the guy. So if I'm at work and somebody goes up to the door at the house, I can talk to them and say, Jenna doesn't live here. I have a gun. Go away. And they can't tell whether you're in the house or at work, or in Tokyo, or in New York City, or in Washington. I think it's a very, very cool system. $199 for the basic version, which is the Ring 2. And like I said, you can buy it at Home Depot. Yesterday, according to the website, they had 15 of them. I bought one, so now it's 4. And I might do a little demo for you in just a little bit. Only a couple of minutes to talk about this. So Ken, you might want to call in a little bit later on to get more splains on the lawsuit that you have now filed against the Consolidated Commission on Utilities.
Well, I'll keep it short. I was a consultant in the mainland for many years, and I had a similar situation where we had a former federal judge explain to us the differences between what is releasable from an employee's file and what is not releasable from an employee's file.
Right.
And he said it's very, very simple. If it has anything whatsoever to do with work, you must release it. If it does not have anything to do with work and it's personal in nature, you cannot release it. So we went through a couple of examples. We have an employee who's who came in and confessed an addiction problem and was seeking treatment. That's not releasable.
Mm-hmm.
You have an employee who was written up because he improperly operated a lift truck without safety gear. That's releasable.
Yes.
You have a person who bounced checks and the receivers of the checks came to the company in an effort to get his wages attached. That's not releasable. You have an employee who was harassing other employees and making improper advances on those employees, and he was sent away for counseling. That's releasable because it took place at work.
And so the idea that anything that came out of that meeting that is shielded as some kind of personnel information it isn't going to fly, and therefore we're going to get a judge to rule on that.
Well, that's where I was kind of chuckling at that CCU meeting, because they kept blurring the word personal and personnel.
Right.
Personnel matters are releasable because those are work product, work activity. Personal matters are not releasable. And they kept using them interchangeably.
Well, everybody does that. Everybody, we're going to get that from the police department. We're going to get it from the Department of Education. Can't talk about it because it's personnel rules, and we're going to be violating somebody's privacy. But where it comes to the spend of taxpayer or ratepayer dollars, there is no such thing unless we're talking about somebody's blood type, sexual preferences, genders, etc. Hey, listen, I got a breakaway. Got news coming up, but we'll chat again before the end of the show. All right?
You've got it.
Talk to you later. The other governor, Leon Guerrero, can LG online at 7, and we're KUSG Agana.
Plan unveiled. I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. President Trump says his new immigration plan would make the U.S. system the envy of the world. Fox's Jared Halpern joins us live from Capitol Hill.
President Trump's latest immigration offer proposes to overhaul the green card system.
A big proportion of those immigrants must come in through merit and skill.
The proposal would shift the proportion of immigrants entering the country through family ties in favor of a merit-based system, prioritizing language skills and job prospects.
Under the senseless rules of the current system, we're not able to give preference to a doctor, a researcher.
There is resistance in Congress. Democrats complain the proposal says nothing about dreamers, immigrants brought to the U.S. illegally as children. Rich.
Jared, Attorney General William Barr today praising Operation SHIELD, a program with El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras designed to reduce illegal migration.
We have seen indictments of more than 7,000 MS-13 and 18th Street gang members.
Barr was attending a law enforcement event in El Salvador. The aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln is now in position in the Arabian Sea to strike Iran if ordered.
The aircraft carrier arrived 2 weeks early due to what military officials call a potential imminent threat. In addition to dozens of F-18 Super Hornets on board, other warships in the strike group carry hundreds of Tomahawk cruise missiles. Earlier this week, U.S. forces in the region were placed on high alert.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson at the Pentagon. Democratic Senator Doug Jones of Alabama calls his state's new abortion law shameful. Jones says the law uses rape and incest victims as political pawns. Governor Kay Ivey signed the measure into law last night. It makes performing abortions a felony with no exceptions for rape or incest. Supporters say they hope the court battle will eventually lead to the reversal of Roe v. Wade. This is Fox News.
Legends aren't born, they are made. And during our Jeep Celebration event at Cars Plus and Mighty, you'll receive up to $6,000 in accessories with the purchase of a new Jeep Wrangler, Motor Trend SUV of the Year. Customize your new Jeep to the way you want it. Or how about a new Jeep Grand Cherokee? Save up to $5,000. Or save up to $7,500 on a new Jeep Compass Sport. It's our Jeep Celebration event going on now at Cars Plus and Mighty. Cars Plus, driven by you. Accessory special cannot be combined with other offers. See dealer for details.
Get a half gallon of Minute Maid orange juice for only $1.99 when you fuel up on $35 or more of premium high performance fuel. Conditions apply. See stores for details. Circle K. Take it easy. Get a half gallon of Dairy Gold milk for only $1.99 when you fuel up on $35 or more of premium high performance fuel. Conditions apply. See stores for details. Circle K. Take it easy. Get a $7 meal for only $1.99 when you fuel up on $35 or more of premium high performance fuel. Conditions apply. See stores for details. Circle K. Take it easy.
Gains on Wall Street as U.S. stock indexes close higher on positive earnings report and better than expected labor and housing numbers. Another child has died while in the custody of U.S. immigration officials.
When a 2-year-old Guatemalan boy crossed the U.S. border from Mexico into El Paso, Texas with his parent back in April, he had a spiking fever and troubled breathing. U.S. Customs agents took the boy to a nearby children's hospital where doctors said he was suffering from pneumonia. He remained in the hospital for a month before dying this past Tuesday. The boy is the 4th child known to die while in U.S. custody after crossing the U.S. border illegally. Eben Brown, Fox News.
A Chicago police spokesman says a baby isn't expected to survive after being ripped from his mother's womb after she was strangled. 3 people are in custody facing possible murder and other charges. Investigators say the 19-year-old woman went to a Chicago home in response to a Facebook post offering free baby items. Police say she was strangled and the baby forcibly removed from her womb. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio joining the crowded field of Democrats making a 2020 White House run. De Blasio posting a video earlier today announcing his candidacy, saying he can stand up to President Trump.
I'm a New Yorker. I've known Trump's a bully for a long time. This is not news to me or anyone else here, and I know how to take him on.
De Blasio heading out to key primary states to kick off his campaign. President Trump in a tweet calling de Blasio a joke who is hated by New York City. House Democrats are about 5 hours into a 12-hour marathon reading of Special Counsel Robert Mueller's final report on Russian election meddling.
Signed a letter of intent for Trump Tower Moscow by November 2015.
About 24 Democrats are taking part in reading the 448-page report. The Republicans are calling it a political stunt and a waste of congressional resources. I'm Rich Dennison, and this is Fox News.
In illness and in wellness, Calvo's Select Care is health care that is there for you. That's why over 80% of the Guam medical community places their trust and insures with us. We offer our members wellness and fitness programs for a healthier lifestyle and provide a comprehensive medical network on and off island to help members from unexpected illnesses. Contact Calvo's Select Care today for more information.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,600 by calling Family Finance in Agutya at 475-4545, Upper Tumon at 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959.
Hey, it's Mom. Somebody forgot to thaw the chicken, so meet us at Chili's for 2 for $25. Oh, and congratulate your sister for making the basketball team. She's thrilled. Love you. See you at Chili's.
Enjoy 2 full meal combos for $25. An appetizer, 2 mouth-watering entrees like our crispy chicken breast, smoked barbecue quarter leg, or smoked jalapeno cheddar sausage. Served with corn on the cob and french fries. 2 bold combos for $25. A full-on meal deal available nightly for a limited time. Together, we Chili's.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 7 minutes past 7 a.m. this Friday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. One of 2 suspects is in custody for invading the Ordot home of 68-year-old Diana Kidigwa Tuesday morning. 24-year-old Francis Jerome Tysican was arrested by Guam police yesterday on allegations of home invasion, burglary, and theft of property, among other charges. Tysican and another suspect, who remains at large, are accused of entering the home armed with a gun and a baseball bat and stealing the woman's purse, a pickle jar full of coins, and other items. GPD spokesman Sergeant Paul Tapau says police found the owner of the vehicle used in the home invasion, and that person was able to identify Tysican and a second suspect as having borrowed the car. It's not Tysican's first arrest. He has a criminal history. He was accused in June 2011 of the robbery at the Mermaid Tavern in Agana. He's also been accused in the Ebenezer store robbery in Jonia and the Highway 57 Club robbery in Mighty. Police are still searching for that second suspect in the home invasion, and this morning, a police spokesman, Sergeant Paul Tapau, issuing a release seeking help from the community in finding 22-year-old Ronnie Vincent Crisostomo Jr. Sergeant Tapau's release does not say whether Crisostomo is linked to that Ordot home invasion, but the release does say that he is wanted for questioning relative to several ongoing criminal investigations. Crisostomo's last known address was listed as Aguero Street in Jonia. However, he is known to frequent the villages of Ordot, Chalan, Pago, and Jonia, according to Sergeant Tapau's release. The subject is believed to be armed and should not be approached. He is believed to be avoiding authorities and may flee once spotted. Anyone who knows the whereabouts of Crisostomo is asked to call the Guam Police dispatch line at 472-8911 or call Guam Crime Stoppers at 477-HELP. We'll have more news after this.
We know too well the inconvenience of not having power after a storm. You worry about the food in the freezer going bad. Nights get hot. It's hard finding comfort when going to sleep. These are realities. But with solar and battery storage from Micronesia Renewable Energy, these realities can be a thing of the past. The solar works during the day and the batteries power your home at night. Call 632-2613 to see how solar plus battery storage can make life a little more convenient. MRE, the smarter choice.
Experience the Take Care difference. Take Care members can count on accessing a high-quality, credentialed network of on-island providers, including the convenient one-stop FHP Health Center and urgent care, access to an extensive off-island network of providers, and the island's largest offering of free fitness classes and health education programs. You can count on Take Care to deliver comprehensive, accredited insurance coverage and quality health care when and where you need it. Take Care. Our island, your health plan. Learn more at takecareasia.com.
News time here at The Point is 10 minutes past 7 a.m. Members of the administration's fiscal team were called before lawmakers Thursday afternoon to answer questions about a bill authorizing the government of Guam to borrow up to $30 million for the construction of an additional trash cell at the Luzon landfill. Senator Sabina Perez introduced the bill, saying if we don't get this funding, we risk the ire of the court and returning back to full receivership. Timing is of the essence, she said. The two existing trash cells at Luzon are expected to be full by 2021, and 2 dry seasons are needed to complete the construction of a third cell. That means construction has to begin by July of this year. Senators sought assurances from the fiscal team that the bond borrowing would not result in an increase in monthly trash collection fees. Guam Economic Development Authority Administrator Melanie Mendiola said the financing plan approved by the district court shows that the Guam Solid Waste Authority is able to afford the payments without an increase in tipping fees. The bond bill was moved to the voting file yesterday. Session resumes at 10 o'clock this morning. A vote on that measure is expected today. Senator Kelly Marsh is working with the Mayor's Council of Guam to allow tourists access to use the restrooms at the community centers and mayor's offices throughout the island. The senator is the chairwoman of the Legislative Committee on Parks. In a release yesterday, she said one of her priorities is to work with the mayors to address the lack of access to restrooms at community parks on island. Those are supposed to be maintained by the Department of Parks and Rec, but the department says they lack the staff to maintain the public restrooms, many of which have been vandalized and are now locked and unusable. Senator said tour companies will be provided with the locations identifying those restrooms if the mayors approve the plan. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray and Mike now with some weather.
Oh, I got to do the weather. Oh, okay. All right. I think I might be able to scare something up here. Partly sunny today, Kevin, with isolated showers and thunderstorms. Mostly cloudy with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms this afternoon and into the evening. And then it'll turn partly sunny Saturday and Sunday with the possibility of some isolated showers. Wind southwest 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming southerly 10 to 15 miles an hour tomorrow. Michael explain why. Highs around 88 degrees and overnight lows of about 79 degrees. Sunset tonight at 6:40. We'll watch the sunrise tomorrow morning at the Mango Festival race, the 5K, 2K down in Agate. Is it a 5K and 2K? Well, I'm pretty sure it's a 5K. Down in Agate about 5:54 or so from the perch in the Weather Center. All right, we don't actually have a weather center, but I got Mike that can look at radar.
Yeah, looking at radar here, and we don't really see much going on in terms of circulations or anything like that. Got a long line of showers and thunderstorms off to our east, southeast, south,
but it ain't
and
doing
west.
Anything.
But it's not moving. It's just kind of staying where, if anything, it's drifting kind of over to the east. And it seems that the heavier showers are actually traveling up that line off to the east and away from Guam. And, again, for the lack of a better way of understanding what happened, what was thinking that was going to bring us the rain just never made it here, and it hit some energy in the atmosphere and kind of slammed up against that. That lifted all the moisture into the sky and rained it out, and it all happened east of here. And that's why we had all the pretty lights last night. Mm-hmm. Looks like that's going to stay the case. The Weather Service has gone ahead and put in a chance of thunderstorms for the day, just in case something does move over us in rain. But it looks like the circulation, as it were, has already moved well down to the southwest of us, and we just have these thunderstorms left behind. They'll be drying up, and then we'll be left with grill marks for the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, buddy, grill marks. Okay, because I'm trying to set a couple of plans for the weekend, and I was thinking thinking that maybe a little bit of sand and grilling
I would
could
recommend
actually
that.
happen.
Yeah, I would recommend that. With beer, of course.
What? This is the whole point. 7:14 in the morning. That's news and weather together here on The Point. Save big. Save really big when you bundle up your insurance policies with Nanbo Insurance. Insure your home, auto, motorcycle, or business with Nanbo and enjoy great savings. Up to 50%. When it comes to insuring your property, no one knows better than the company with over 50 years of service to the community. Don't compromise the things that matter to you most. Call Nanbo today at 477-9754 or visit nanbo.com for more information. Nanbo Insurance, serving you since 1968. Oh, and look at all the people I get to say thanks for supporting me with. Got Guam Regional Medical City, the first choice for your specialty care needs now, including bariatric surgery. The guys over at Micronesia Renewable Energy that can now, they've got the technology. They've figured out the science to be able to take batteries and your solar, put them together so that you can practically go off-grid whenever you want to. Does that sound like something you want to do? We'll call them over at Micronesia Renewable Energy. They'll be happy to talk to you about how to get all that done. American President Lines, and they're shipping the future. Joey and Jen and Dunge over at Cars Plus, still in the middle of their Jeep celebration, where you get yourself behind the wheel of a new Jeep Wrangler, and they'll be happy to give you $6,000, up to $6,000 worth of accessories to totally customize and individualize that ride just for you. And finally, my friends over at King's Restaurant. Crazy 19 menu. Yeah, you got a favorite there on the menu? Chances are pretty good. They've reimagined it and found new ways to make it taste better and I don't know, just change the complexion of the plate. They put different things on the plates to make it that much more fun to eat at King's. Find that Crazy 19 menu at King's Restaurant in Tamuning and Harmon. Always open, always local. King's.
Real Talk Radio is back. The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Seven 888-8255-888-TALK is the telephone number here at the radio station. Might give you an excuse to use it here in just a little bit. And the front page of the Guam Daily Post, another home invasion suspect has a criminal past. The guy that was in the house when the lady came out of the bathroom, he has been arrested by the police, and he has got a case history that goes back for an awful long time, sufficient enough for the judge to say you're not going to get released on your own personal recognizance. I hope this guy gets in front of the same judge. 24-year-old man arrested on suspicion of forced entry. This is the guy that lined up against a 68-year-old woman. Huh? What kind of bravery, what kind of real man are you when you run up against a woman with a gun and a baseball bat and ransack her house while she's watching? Francis Jerome Tysican, and there's a picture of him on the front page. Memorize this face. Memorize the name. And I'm looking at this going, why is that name so familiar? And the reason why it's so familiar is because recently there have been a number of Tysicans that have been busted for a variety of offenses. Give you an example here. Geraldine Tysican. Man reported his caretaker to police, accusing her of stealing documents and tools from him. Geraldine Tysican, 45, charged with theft and forgery. And then there's Jarvis. Not Jarvis Tysican. There's Audrey Tysican, who was busted with Jarvis Farron. Tuesday, housekeeping staff gained access to a hotel room safe and found multiple glass pipes, small resealable plastic baggies, and a digital scale. Hotel manager said that Farron and Audrey Tysican checked into a different room after leaving room 236, but left behind their drugs. You want more? 16-year-old Francis J. Tysican, charged as an adult in 3 armed robberies. This case goes back to about 2011. Familiar names that we've got here in a lot of the blotters here. So I'm sure when the police got a description of this guy, they probably knew exactly who they were talking about and exactly where to go and find him. Hopefully he gets in front of a judge that will go, personal recognizance? No. Because you're just going to go back to your crime family here. Like their own little syndicate there. 7:19 in the morning, 888-8255 is the phone number. You know what? Jerry Roberts in the studio will talk about one of the things that's got him shaking his head in a second. But first, let's take a look at what happened in the market. S&P 500, NASDAQ, Dow Jones Industrial Average. Everybody in the green this morning. That's nice. 28.76 for the S&P 500. They picked up 25 points. NASDAQ in the green by about 75, closing at 78.98 this morning. And the Dow Jones Industrial Average closed up 214 points. Still not to 26,000, but that's all right. 25,862. FTSE's going to open in the green. Nikkei is opening down a little bit later on this morning, 125 points in the red. Hang Seng up at 28,275. Shanghai at 29.55, and the DAX is opening up by 210 points. Those of you that are watching out for national gas, never mind natural gas, let's talk about West Texas crude here today. West Texas crude, if you're investing in it, this is a good day because it's up by $1, $63.14. Yesterday, $62.11. Those of us that buy gasoline, that is derived from Tapis crude. Tapis trading this morning at $74.53. Yesterday, $73.73. Up by 80 cents in trade for Tapis crude. Is this going to be that weekend where we're looking at the gas station signs? Are they changing the phrase, or are they going to be changing the number? I don't know. But if you are, as I say, around this time, if you got a little bit of E for Ever Ready on your car, you might want to put some gasoline at the bargain price of $4.
Could be a good idea.
35 cents a gallon. 7:20 in the morning. There's Jerry Roberts. Good morning, Batman.
Good morning, sir.
What's on your mind today? What are you thinking about?
When I heard on the news, as I was rolling up, about the tourists being able now to use the mayor's restrooms, etc., or the recreation center's restrooms?
But the question that I have is, how do we know that the mayor's restrooms are any better than the restrooms that Parks and Recs is taking care of?
We can probably hope for that one. What bothered me and what triggered the response was years ago I used to subscribe. There's the Asahi Shimbun. Did that name?
Oh, sure, yeah.
I think it was them that they had. It's the English-speaking newspaper in Tokyo. It goes all throughout Japan. And they also have one in Japanese, like the rest of them. Yeah. But the Shimbun also had a website. I believe it was them. And I would subscribe to their website because it was all in English and there was forums there. And whenever something took place in Guam that was negative to the tourists, you could go there and get immediate reaction from the bilingual Japanese folks that would go on those forums.
Uh-oh.
What I found, though, and what I heard was that they would also be posting on the other forums, the ones that I could not read, and that this one individual that was going back and forth with me said, "Oh, you don't want to read that stuff." He says, "That is much worse. When it gets over into our language, it is much worse."
Oh boy!
What you're getting on the English side is sanitized, but when things like this happen, I mean, when your restrooms aren't clean. And we've all had this discussion, forever and ever. But when your restrooms aren't clean, it just sends a bad message.
The message is welcome to the third world.
Yeah, how do you get around that one? The restrooms are blocked because there's poop all over the place, and they're just in horrible disarray. How do you get around that?
But I don't know. I don't know what the solution is, other than having these armed guards at the restrooms, for the times that they're open when the tourists are going to be there. I lament the fact that that we don't have clean and decent restrooms because I want to use them. There are times I'll be at the Paseo and I gotta go wee-wee, and I can't use the restroom there because it's either filthy or it's locked. Right. Most of the time it's locked. There were a bunch of guys there, and it's one of those things you just kind of don't look at it because it'll just tick you off. But there are areas at the Paseo that are noted as alcohol-free zones. So you go by there, and sure enough, in the afternoon about 4 o'clock, while there's little kids playing softball, you got all these people that are crowded around a cooler, and there's no place for them to go and take a leak, so they walk over to the ocean and relieve themselves that way. Well, that's nice for the Korean tourists that are walking around the Paseo. Welcome to our third world, guys. And I have the conversation with Sonny Atta the other day, and I will express my concerns again. The bloom is off our rose. Guam is looking very ruddy. The people around here that are hanging around at some of our premier tourism attractions are not necessarily the people that we want to be representative of the island of Guam.
Well, now overall numbers are up, and why is that? Because we have a new market that the Korean market has come on very strong, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so if the overall numbers may go up, but eventually the same thing happens as happened to us with Japan. The numbers will go down again. And a new generation may well discover Guam all over again, but a lot of people have said, I'm not going back.
Because it's dirty. And then they got this god-awful, butt-ugly chain-link fence between the airport and the tourism zone. I'm serious. I think it's the worst. It makes it look like this is the good side of the island, this is the bad side of the island. It makes the place look like a prison.
The point is, if we don't take care of this, if we don't ever get over this problem, things like the restrooms and the rest of it and the trash, then eventually, the tourism numbers are going to go the other way. And then where are you?
Then we will have to do more subsidizing of airplane seats, like we're doing now with the Japanese. That's the solution there. 7:24.
And Marines are delayed again.
I don't know. I mean, Kevin's got a better lock on that story than I do. We were reporting the other day because the Japanese press had been reporting that it looks like the numbers could be coming in around 2024. Kelly Rodriguez, who is with the Marines out here on Guam, said
that was a misunderstanding on the part of Kyoto News Service.
They don't know about fiscal years.
Well, apparently they read it as being the start of the fiscal year in 2024, which is October 2024. However, Kelly Rodriguez said first half of 2025. The month hasn't been pinned down. It's been delayed because of construction. So
that's where we are. So I don't know that it's a massive delay. We're not talking about 2035 or something like that.
Has anybody checked with Mr. Schatz in Hawaii to see what he's talking about?
Well, I talked with Mike Sinicolas last hour, and Mike Sinicolas said that the amendment that has been offered by Mr. Schatz in Hawaii that could have a significant impact on Guam if it made for an artificial monopoly for shippers. He says it looks like that amendment might be withdrawn.
Good.
So we got that to look forward to. We'll keep an eye on that story and more. 7:26. Jerry Roberts in his studio in a surly mood today.
Oh,
let's brighten things up with today's Extra Point, brought to you by Guahan Insurance Services and First Hawaiian Bank, where it all starts with yes.
Good grief! Did he thrust his business card in my face while introducing himself? Today, stuff to do and stuff not to do when it comes to networking. That's next on the Extra Point.
It's important to have claims process that works for you. At Guahan Insurance Services, we make things simple and convenient. Same door you walked in to purchase your insurance is the same door you open to file your claim. We can't pretend that the car insurance claims process is fun, but we can promise a hassle-free and speedy recovery without any runarounds. For your home, auto, and business insurance, visit us at the Camacho Landmark Center on Marine Corps Drive in Tamuning. Don't forget to like us on Facebook or give us a call at 475-1162 or text 929-SAVE. That's 929-7283.
Travel the world and then some with the 2 million United Miles sweepstakes from First Hawaiian Bank. Enter and you could win the grand prize of 1 million miles or be one of 6 other lucky winners. The world is big. Our prize is bigger. Enter at fhb.com/2 million miles. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Sweepstake starts on May 1st and ends June 30th, 2019. Open to legal residents of Guam and CNMI. Ages 18 years or older. Visit 2millionmiles.com for official rules. First Hawaiian Bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
This will be posted up at guamtraining.com. I think it already is, but here we go. We have to move fast. 13 do's and don'ts when it comes to networking. Number 1, do have a plan. I mean, what's your purpose for attending? You have one, right? Number 2, don't talk too much. Some people get nervous and just babble. Here's the rule. Listen twice as much as you talk. 3, don't talk too fast. It really sounds bad sometimes. 4, do occasionally breathe and give the other person a chance to respond. I have seen people talk for minutes and minutes, and you wonder, when are they going to run out of breath? But it goes on and on and on. Don't do that. 5, don't run out of things to talk about. There's that uncomfortable pause that happens just twice in a person's life. once on a first date, and 2, during a conversation at a networking event. There's that horrible feeling when you realize it's over, but you're both still there, wishing the floor would open and swallow you up, or at least swallow the other person up. Here's how to handle this one. Hold back a topic that you can talk about. Call it conversation insurance. If things start dragging between the two of you, whip out your conversation insurance topic and rev things back up. 6, don't be too aggressive, acting like a dog in heat. Can I get your business card? Can we have coffee? How about lunch? Do you think you're interested? Do you? Do you? Establish rapport first, then exchange cards or use your phones to make a digital connection. 7, don't act like you know it all. Does that require any further discussion? Don't think so. Don't do it. Number 8, don't speak badly about your competitor. It makes you look small. 9, do talk to a variety of people. Why is it that folks attend a networking event and then spend the whole time talking to coworkers or other people they already know? Here's an idea. Talk to somebody you don't know. Number 10, after you tell your story, do ask the other person questions about their business and career. It's bad form if you don't. 11, don't name drop. If you know a lot of influential people, that's great. However, by coming off as if you're trying to impress someone with the names of who you know, it comes off as an ego play, and that's not impressive. 12, don't be on your phone. This is the chance to meet people with whom you can build a productive, long-term business relationship. And you're going to spend half your time posting to social media? Now? Put it away. And number 13, I mentioned this one before, but it needs repeating. Absolutely do, follow up with the people you meet at networking events. So many others don't. If you do, you win. Networking can help propel your career if you master the do's and don'ts. Learn to do it right. That's the Extra Point. Get out there and make something good happen today. For 93.3, The Ray Gibson Show, Guahan Insurance Services, and First Hawaiian Bank. I'm Jerry Roberts.
All right.
And I'm not surly, by the way.
I'm not in a bad mood.
No.
Who's playing around on we'll get around to doing that. James Howard says, my big ones always start and end with a handshake, a very firm handshake, even if you don't like the guy or the girl. That's I won't say which governor it was, but I'd said something awful about this governor, and he didn't talk to me for a year.
Oh, no.
But every time I saw him, because we see each other as Guam, right? There's socials and VIP get-togethers and things like that. I always made it a point to find him and shake his hand just because I knew it ticked him off, just because I knew it made him crazy. So yes, I will. And if you're ever looking for a topic of conversation to bring up in some of those awkward moments, I'll give you one right now.
Here we go.
This works for me every single time. What are you watching on TV these days? Everybody is watching something. Everybody's in the middle of something on Netflix or Hulu. So just try to find out what it is.
And by next year or 2 years from now, there'll be like 6 other things they're coming on, like networks and Hulu.
Yeah. I've got a list. There's plenty enough of those new outfits that are going to be coming up. Apple's got theirs, and Google's
Disney
got theirs.
and,
YouTube is going to be cranking out something.
Yeah.
So everybody will have something out there that they're going to be watching, and you'd be surprised at how passionate some people are about the shows that they are binging. I started rewatching just because I think it's exciting. An old HBO miniseries called The Pacific, about the Marines in the Second World War out here in the Pacific.
A dramatic thing.
It's dramatic, but it's based on fact.
Based on fact.
Yeah.
How close?
It starts with Guadalcanal and the bloody battles that took place down at Guadalcanal to try to keep the Japanese from getting a toehold into Australia. Yeah. And they go from there. There's a great couple of episodes that are based on the bloody battles out in Peleliu. In Palau. Just incredible series, and very dramatic, and they tell me on point historically. Yeah.
Oh.
So that's what. See what I mean?
That's Netflix.
Yeah. Hulu's yes, on Hulu, but it's on HBO. You can still watch it if you got HBO service. Okay. So there's a couple of ideas, and as you can see. It just worked. I mean, that killed 30, 45 seconds of a conversation between a couple of people. And he could have been a stranger, but, expressed interest in what I was watching, and it leads to conversation. So you never know what's going to happen. Mike Hernandez, who works over at 76 Circle K, is one of the marketing geniuses over at 76 Circle K. He is always in the middle of a book. And so when I see him, I'm always kind of curious. What are you reading now? And the stories about what he's reading. Sometimes it's books about management and business, and other times it's books, fiction books.
So what are you in the middle of right now?
Something to read. The Navy SEALs. It's a workout book about but it's workout routines that Navy SEALs do. Because I can see in my head, I identify as a Navy SEAL.
There you go.
Some guys identify as women. You get some women identify as men. I identify as a Navy SEAL.
How about a woman made Navy SEAL? Is that possible? That'd be okay.
Anything is possible now. It's 7:34 in the morning. That's Jerry Robertson. Today's Extra Point. Have a good weekend. Make something good happen, as he says. Kevin Kerrigan now from the Guam Daily Post and today's big headlines.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. In the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning, delays in the construction of the new Marine Corps base in Finigaj and Dededo have postponed the arrival of the first contingent of U.S. Marines from Okinawa to Guam. Kelly Rodriguez, the communications deputy at the Marine Corps Activity Office on Guam, says the first Marines could arrive sometime in the first half of 2025. It's not clear which month they'll arrive. She explained that it's all tied to the construction of the infrastructure that would support the Marines that come here. In May 2017, the Marine Corps projected the first transfer of Marines to Guam might begin sometime in 2024. That's now been pushed back to sometime in the first half of 2025. Rodriguez said the change is the result of the reassessment of where we are in progress on the construction. Japan's Kyodo News Service recently reported that the first Marines from Okinawa would start arriving by October 2024, but Rodriguez said that report was the result of a misunderstanding. Community activist Ken Leon Guerrero is seeking a court order to force the Consolidated Commission on Utilities to release records of a November 2018 closed-door meeting at which pay raises for utility executives were discussed. The Guam Daily Post submitted its own request for those minutes, as have other media, and Bob Klitsky, an attorney who currently hosts the Tall Tales program here on The Point. CCU commissioners have discussed releasing those minutes. However, CCU Chairman Joey Duenas said he would be uncomfortable releasing the minutes, not knowing for sure which portions should be redacted and who would decide on which portions were releasable. Duenas has said it would be best if a judge were to order the release should the court deem any portion of the minutes releasable. Meanwhile, Senator Clint Rigel yesterday, whose committee oversees utilities, announced that he has scheduled an oversight hearing on the issue for next week on Thursday. The Department of Revenue and Taxation has authorized the Department of Administration to release a little more than $4 million in tax refund checks in the next few days. The checks are not being mailed out all at once, according to a joint statement from Rev Tax and DOA. This round of refunds will cover at least part of the error-free income tax returns filed on January 29th. Roughly 1,200 checks are being mailed out this time. This is the third batch of tax refund checks to be mailed out for the 2018 tax year. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
Why, thank you, Kevin. It's 7:37 this morning, and that is iConnect time. Swing by an iConnect or call them 888-8888 and tell them Ray Gibson said to ask about great specials and packages that they have for internet and mobile plans. You in business? Try out Push to Talk for you and your fleet guys at iConnect.
The Crazy 19 menu at King's Restaurants is back with all your breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites. Fun pancakes, tasty sandwiches, and the local dishes you crave for a limited time on the Crazy 19 menu at King's.
Okay, I think it's coming up soon.
Yeah, we're on Route 1 and near the airport intersection, right?
There, see it? What's the promo code? Look for the promo code.
Check out the Vantage Digital Billboard and reap the rewards. Catch the promo code on the screen and get $10 off your Stroll ride by inputting the promo code on the Stroll Guam app.
Did you see it? You got it?
I got it. You just focus on driving.
Take advantage today and take a look at Vantage Advertising's digital billboard located on Route 1 at the airport intersection.
7:38 in the morning, and time to try and see if I can get some traffic information on the radio to you at this time. And that means I got to scare up the traffic gizmo. Let me see here where that is and what kind of traffic we're looking at. Southbound Marine Corps Drive, anywhere north of about Wysang. You might get a couple of places that'll slow you down through there. Intersection of 1 and 3, a little bit busy. It looks like it's busy in both directions, though, but only like right there. Once you're past that, should be fairly straight shot into the downtown Upper Tumon area and making your way down to San Vitores Road down route by Santos Hill. Shouldn't be too many problems. I'm looking at a little bit of a slowdown down that hill by the Tagada Amusement Park. So watch out for that if you're headed in that area. 8, 10, and 16, a little bit busy this morning, but not terribly bad. You know what I think it is? I think it's bad because today is Harvest graduation. Congratulations to Mason Caldwell. Distinguished himself as a scholar and athlete at that school. Lots and lots and lots of love. Congratulations to you and the other members of the class of 2019 over at Harvest. A little bit busy as you're making your way towards that McMobile intersection because there's Harvest back there. Route 4 should be looking smooth until you get around Sinahanya and that light over by the 76. But once you're past that, should be a straight shot, fairly easy into the downtown Hagatna area. The place in front of Navy Hospital beginning to get a little bit busy, and in front of Big Navy and Sumai already kind of busy as well. 20 away from 8 o'clock in the morning. That's right now traffic here in Des Moines.
Business travel just got easier. Take your data plan with you for only $10 a day to all 17 Data2Go destinations. Never worry about additional data roaming charges when you go where your business needs you. The US, China, Thailand, and so much more. Have the assurance you need to check emails, surf the web, and stay connected. Call 688-2677 today to make sure your account is Data2Go ready. Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Big crowd working on Facebook Live this morning, and if you don't want to go on Facebook Live because you're going to go, oh my God, he's going to read my name, then you can watch us on YouTube Live. I can read your name there as well. It requires me to have 2 windows open, and I'm frankly distracted enough already. Vanessa Augustin Judikpa online this morning. Nice to see Mingo rejoining us today, as well as Lady D up in Jigo, Vivian Cunningham, and Vicky Ganashus Borja is there. Vanessa says, why can't neighborhood watches contribute for a drone and assign somebody or rotate to fly the drone over the neighborhood for any suspicious activity? My response is, I would love to be the drone pilot. And she said, Bray, you'd make a great drone pilot. And the opposite is true. I would be the worst drone pilot in the world. I would totally use the drone to spy on my hot neighbors. Chris Watson is there. I got Dave Duenas online this morning. Mark Cruz waving hello. Christine Kitigua is online playing around. So is Andy Henricks. Vanessa, I already said Vanessa's name. So Louis Cabral. John Fernandez is hanging out. Jeanette Gigi Cruz says, TGI, good morning to all listeners. Have a safe and peaceful weekend. Safe, yes. Peaceful, no. It's the 3rd weekend of my birthday month, and I want it to be noisy. Buddy Dennis Bensour is online, and he says 6 years ago, boy, it's amazing. You got to let go sometimes, Dennis. He says 6 years ago, we lost one of the greatest NASCAR drivers ever. Rest in peace, Dick Trickle. That sounds like a made-up name, doesn't it?
I never heard of him.
I'm not going to say it again just in case it's a made-up name. Chris Valencia, Xavier Athelig, Brad Hewitt is online. Parks and Rec used to go from bathroom to bathroom, putting bleach and then hosing down the area and picking up the trash. They stopped for some reason. If the government hired the lower staff instead of those administrators, they could probably afford 3 lower staffers to 1 administrator with some leftover funds. Patty Camacho Hughes online. Ethel Reed from South Carolina hanging out. So is Kat Phillips-Uggan. Says the solution is to create souvenir shops that have snacks and restrooms available while the parks are open. Ireland is a very good example of how everything is kept clean and also generating revenue. You know, Jim Moylan's got a plan to provide some kind of sponsorship activity, kind of like using the same model that they're using over at Two Lovers Point. Maybe that will work out. Chalorna Laron from Guam Regional Medical City, the first choice for your specialty care needs, is hanging out with us this morning. I see Dave Evans. Hannah Iriarte. Good morning, Director Cho. Nice to see you there. Ed and Karen Untalan, Dee Chaco, and Lynn Perez online this morning. Why is everybody late today? These are names, frankly, these are names that I should have been reading in the 6 o'clock hour. I don't know what it is that got you laying around until it gets to be 7:40 or so in the morning. What's going on?
Yeah, Dick Trickle actually was a dude. A race car driver.
I'm still not going to say the name.
Yeah, Mr. Richard Trickle.
Thank you.
Yeah, passed away 6 years ago today.
Jerry Gamboa is online. Nice to see some new names in here as well. And for all the new people, do me a favor, click the share button somewhere in whatever it is that you're watching. If you're watching on your laptop or your phone, there's a share button in there. Please press the share button and let everybody know this is how you're getting through your Friday morning.
By the way, I have a phone call from Mr. Richard Head.
Shut up! Knock that off. We're not 11 years old. We're 12. That's Beavis. I'm Butthead. 7:43 in the morning, and let me be serious as I say this in my serious voice. Nurses giving back to the community health fair going to be taking place. This because we got celebrating nurses here, and all of the caregivers, but in particular the nurses. Scrubs weekend. Can I hear? You don't have to actually be a nurse. Just wear scrubs. Thank you. Nurses giving back to the community health fair going to be taking place Sunday, Micronesia Mall, starting at 10, goes until 2. They're going to do glucose checks. We'll get the numbers on your blood pressure. We'll find out about your BMI. They'll do health counseling and plenty more. Zumba, mixed fit, health screenings, entertainment, raffle prizes, etc., etc. 10 until 2 at the Micronesia Mall on Sunday. I've been to things like this before, and I remember there was a delightful doctor. I want to say her name was Haifun. Pretty lady. Name sounded like Typhoon. That's why I remember it so readily. But she sat down with me and went through some of the numbers at one of these health screenings. And up until that time, I thought I was just in the peak of health. And she was looking at my blood pressure numbers. She was looking at some of the other numbers. And she says, "You need to do something about your smoking." And I said, "Yeah, I know." She says, "You need to do something about the salt in your diet as well. You're taking in too much salt." I said, "You can see that from the numbers?" She said, Yeah. And it really got me questioning some of the things that I put in my body. I still have what I consider to be a fairly salty diet, but I want to say I'm a little bit more in control of it because I can see it coming now better than I used to before. It's one of those things that I check on the labels for you. 7:45 in the morning, Sherry Uriarte is apologizing. She says, "I slept in. Don't judge." Kelly Rodriguez online this morning. We've been talking about Kelly and the flow, the force flow, I think she refers to it as, of the Marines as we get through the Marine Corps buildup here. 7:45 in the morning. And one other observation, because this show, obviously, by now you know, is news and entertainment and things like that, but mostly observances that I have got about living on Guam. So I'm at the intersection, was headed home. And I don't know if you've noticed this or not, or whether you pass by a lot. Marine Corps Drive over by airport, the area we call Northgate. And there was Triple J at a used car lot there, I don't know, last 5 or 6 or 7 years. And kind of a fixture. And you probably, unless you were looking for a used car, probably never paid any kind of attention to it. But if you go by there today, they've taken away all of the cars. The cars are gone. And the little house that they were selling the used cars, that's gone. All of the structures are gone. In fact, they have pulled up the asphalt. The foundation is gone. And I was asking out loud on Facebook yesterday, what's going to go there? What will they put there? The consensus from among the Ray Gibson followers, almost 5,000 of you, on Facebook is that that's going to be where they're going to put the Don Quixote store. Are you familiar with the Don Quixote stores? I've been in 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 of them in my life, and it's like going. You remember growing up and going to the Acme store or Lujan's little store, Big Bargains, and it was one of those places. It looks small from the outside, and then you go inside, and it is just amazing, floor to ceiling, and multiple floors of a Don Quixote of all kinds of really interesting merchandise. And when I say really interesting merchandise, I'm talking about the section of blue merchandise that they have over at the Don Quixote store. Keep the kids out of there, for sure. Anyway, so a lot of people are under the impression that that is where the Don Quixote store is going to go. I have from another source, though, another very reliable source, that it is going to be where they're building a Staples. What? You see the look on your face there.
That's just a weird place to put a Staples.
Staples.
Yeah, that would be better, like in Micronesia Mall or something.
I don't know. Maybe you own the property or something like that. And you're going to build it up. So maybe a Staples is going to be there. Used to be a 9-hole golf course there.
Oh, wow,
in
cool.
in that area, and I don't recall whether they obviously they didn't do gangbuster business. Otherwise, there'd still be a 9-hole golf course there. But I always thought it was cool. It wasn't miniature golf; it was an actual 9-hole course that you could go and putt around for
par 3.
Yeah, like that. It was kind of a fun place. I never actually golfed there. I'm not a golfer. My friends won't let me golf with them. So that's the deal. But I don't think it's going to be a Don Quixote store. I believe that it is going to be the Staples.
I'm working on a petition to have them make it a Popeyes outside the fence.
Man. See, Lady D says, I would put an Arby's there. I've been to a couple of Arby's. The last time I was in an Arby's was up in Seattle, Washington, not too far away from the airport, and I wanted to move in. I wanted to move into the Arby's. This is nice. I can put my bed here, and we'll have a television set over there, and it will be absolutely perfect. Anyway, so that's the deal there. Wasn't there Frisbee golf too? Asking Brad. I don't remember a Frisbee golf at that place. I mean, there could have been. Pam Duvall asking, do I remember the bird at Lujan's? Yes, the Mynah bird at Lujan's. I have memories of the Mynah bird at Lujan's. I'm so glad that you remember that. I'm sure that there's somebody in the Lujan family right now that is listening going, yeah, what a tremendous memory that was. That's a feel good. That's one of those where you just sit in the warm bath of nostalgia and enjoy it. Ken's got memories of Guam back in the 70s. What's on you? Ken, LG, the other Governor Leon Guerrero, back on the line. He only had a couple of minutes to talk about a lawsuit that you filed against the Consolidated Commission on Utilities, and it has been pointed out a lot with Bob Klitsky on his program yesterday. The comfort level of the chairman of the Consolidated Commission on Utility is not the same as statute. And statute at this point looks like it dictates that the CCU, the Guam Power Authority, and the Guam Waterworks Authority must release the minutes of those meetings. Good morning, Ken.
Good morning. Actually, this is a education session for all the other boards, because I've FOIA'd the airport, the port, the Mayor's Council of Guam, looking at similar stuff because of, like Angel Sablan in just a couple of years went from 42,000 to 100,000. So I'm going to be looking forward to see what additional duties he was given as a result of those pay raises, because I can't see anything that he's doing differently. I can't see any other way he's contributing to the community beyond the efforts he did at 42. He's not walking around waving a magic wand and magically all the trash disappears off the beaches around the island and the public restrooms are all clean and things like that. So I want to know what we as citizens are getting for the $60,000 pay raise he got. And, when I saw what happened at GWA and GPA, because I remember those pay raises were, in 2010, they were about governor range, in 80, 90,000. So how did we get from 80,000 to 200,000? Because that's coming out of our pockets.
Yeah, ratepayer.
What additional duties did they assume to make them worth more, more than double their salary? Now, Joey Duenas on your show said they're worth that money because they show up every day. I'm hoping there's more than that. Look at all the other employees that show up every day and aren't getting $200,000 a year.
You get 200,000. You get 200,000. You get 200,000.
Well, that's why, as we push forward, and that was the other purpose of the litigation, although I really did like the cartoon Romeo did for me.
A very nice cartoon, yes.
Because what I wanted is all these other boards to start preparing their documentation so that we don't have this 60-day dance that we're going through up at GWA, GPA with the CUC, because this is something we as taxpayers need to know, because the money that the Mayor's Council, that $60,000, also includes benefits. The benefits at 42,000 are one level. The benefits at 100,000 are a whole different level. And that's coming out of our pockets. And most of the people who are paying the taxes that are paying these salaries and benefits, they don't get this level of benefit. So we have a right to make sure that our taxpayer dollars are being used for our benefit. not their benefit.
As I mentioned yesterday, I think it is incumbent on members of the 35th Guam Legislature, as they go through all of these confirmation hearings and have confirmation votes for these new board members. I think one of the first questions that they need to ask when we get into these dog and pony almost pageant hearings for these board members is: are you familiar with and do you understand the open government law?
I agree with you. Not only that, but also the enabling legislation for the boards and commissions they sat on.
In addition,
through a confirmation hearing for a former head of Guam Regional Transit.
Mm-hmm.
Now, before the hearing, I sat down and talked with him because I'm very interested in mass transit, as you know, especially as a senior citizen on a fixed income. You know, I would rather take a $80,000 bus than my 2003 truck to town.
Oh yeah, but you can't because we've got a lousy system. And I would be in my mind. I think the smart move would be just buy everybody that rides the bus now some kind of beater somewhere and be done with it. We could probably get out from under incredible debt and a complete and total waste of time with Guam Mass Transit by just buying the people that use the system their own car.
Yeah, but I want to take it back to your earlier comment, because when I talked with him, he had never ridden a bus before in his life.
Of course.
He didn't know anything about mass transit. He hadn't read any of the information that was available on, the reports and things. He hadn't read the 2020 Transit Master Plan. He had done none of those things. So I asked him, why do you even want this job? He says, because if I stay home every day, my wife finds things for me to do.
There you go.
So
that's perfect.
It got confirmed. So the senators really need to make sure that the people they are confirming to these autonomous agencies, these boards and commissions, have a clue.
Yeah, good luck, because how many of the people over at the legislature have a clue? I got to run. 7:55. Ken, have a great weekend.
You too.
Stay out of trouble, would you? Got enough time to get Becky North on the line. And Beck's got PSA, got a big deal going on at the Methodist Church.
Yes, tomorrow morning we have the Habitat. Oh, put on the wrong.
There's Force of Habit, yeah.
Yeah, Force of Habit. The Gawad Kalinga rummage sales. So Gawad Kalinga is a organization in the Philippines that builds for the poorest of the poor, to get street people off the streets and into very tiny but safe homes. And we're doing a rummage sale as our start of our process to try to raise enough money to at least sponsor one house, at least. And the sale will be tomorrow morning, 7:30 until 10 a.m. at the Guam United Methodist Church, which is located on Route 15, back road to Anderson.
Right.
About 0.7 of a mile northbound from the Price Elementary School.
Is the church with the it's got the little flame on it because they're all race car people?
The flame on the cross.
Yes, there's a flame on the cross. It looks like my old 1972 Plymouth Satellite.
I didn't know that.
It's true. I'll find it. They were going to go with the Starsky and Hutch motif, but they decided to go with the flame on the cross thing. I'm just giving the Methodists a hard time because the Lutherans pay me to.
Anyway, and if people are interested in donating, we will be accepting donations this afternoon from 4 until 7. And it's downstairs. Our church is kind of 2 stories, so you have to go to the downstairs doors to enter for the rummage sale. That
really is a terrific place. And it's one of those things, if you're looking for a new flock to hang around with, I would recommend going with them. It's very cash, very informal. 7:56 or 7:30 tomorrow, huh?
7:30 tomorrow.
Gotcha. Bring some folding money because they like cash.
Oh, yeah. Lots of it.
There's no ATM at the Methodist Church.
No ATM, but we'll take everything. Oh, I'm sorry. As much as you can donate for Gawad Kalinga is great.
Gotcha. Beck, you have a terrific weekend, and good luck with your sale. All right,
Thank you so much.
No problem. 888-825-5888-TALK. Now, earlier I was telling you about this gizmo that I bought, and in the whole world, you talk to the people over at GTA, and they're getting into a concept called the Internet of Things, right? So it's not so much you typing away or you on your phone interacting with the Internet as much as it is devices at your home that will interact with the Internet one way or the other. And so I bought this thing yesterday in response to what I thought was going to be a home invasion at my place a couple of nights ago. I bought a Ring doorbell. You can get them over at Home Depot. You can't buy the box. What it is, you rip off a picture of it, and then you take it to the cashier, and they'll go in the back and get it for you. It is a Ring. It's Doorbell 2, which is second generation. And if you've got real basic DIY skills, and if you know how to download an app on your phone, you can start using this doorbell. Anyway, the cool thing about it is, like I said, if somebody breaks the motion detector built into it, so if somebody comes around and breaks the plane on the motion detector, you'll get a message. If they press the doorbell, you'll get a message, and it will allow you to, on your phone, see what it looks like around your front door. Now, you'll notice that there's buttons on this side over here that look like telephone buttons. If you press the green one, you can talk to whoever is at your front door. From anywhere on the planet, from anywhere that you are holding your phone, you'll be able to interact with somebody and just say, yeah, Jenna's not here. I have a gun. Go away. They don't know whether you're in the house or someplace else. It'll set you back about $199 for this. You might be able to find maybe a used one on Amazon or something like that. But I am absolutely wild about this product. You know, and with as many of these drug jugheads that we've got floating around this town, we need to be able to do a better job of surveilling our neighborhood. And speaking of surveilling our neighborhood, this also has neighbor functions. So if you got one of these things and your neighbor has one of these things and a lady across the way has one of these things, you can actually share some of the video and some of the data that gets captured on these things. I don't know 100% of how it works, but just delving into the basics on the manual, this is a sweet utility, and I like the way it works with the GTA system and my GTA Pixel phone. 7:59 and change. The radio station is KUSG Agana. Do we have news coming up? Yes, we do. From the Fox News Network. Kevin Kerrigan with the big stories from the Guam Daily Post ahead as well. And don't forget, we get to pretend to talk about sports with Blake Watts in just a few minutes. Stick around, Brown.
A new path. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. President Trump unveils a merit-based immigration plan. Fox's Jared Halpern live on Capitol Hill.
President Trump is proposing what he calls an easy-to-navigate points-based immigration system.
You will get more points for being a younger worker, meaning you will contribute more to our social safety net.
A preference would also be given to immigrants with English proficiency, higher education, a job offer, or job creation opportunity. The president's plan does not address undocumented immigrants already in the country or dreamers brought to the U.S. illegally as children. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi called the merit-based language condescending, questioning whether the president thinks families have merit too. Lisa.
Jared, New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio, the latest Democrat to announce he's running for president.
As president, I will take on the wealthy. I will take on the big corporations. I will not rest until this government serves working people. As mayor of the largest city in America, I've done just that.
De Blasio, the 23rd Democrat to declare his candidacy. And the latest Fox poll takes a look at which Democrat is leading in the crowded field. Fox's Gernal Scott has more live.
Lisa, of those 23 Democrats and one independent now in the race, former Vice President Joe Biden far and away is the front runner with 35% support. Bernie Sanders second with 17%, Elizabeth Warren third at 9%. Those three are the only ones who would beat President Trump head-to-head if the election were today. The poll also shows 54% would vote for someone else rather than re-elect the president. 73% call it extremely important that a Democrat who can beat the president be their nominee, Lisa.
Gernal, Wall Street at the close, stocks ending higher for the third straight day, erasing most of Monday's losses. The Dow rose 214, the Nasdaq added 75. This is Fox News.
Hi, welcome to this Subway ad for the new Sweet and Smoky Steak and Guac Signature Wrap. How would you like it?
I'll take my ex-girlfriend, just checking in.
Aw.
Hey,
Hey, David, it's me. Just checking in. I'm doing great. Just got the new sweet and smoky steak and guac signature wrap from Subway. Creamy guacamole, smoky sweet with Hio mesquite sauce, and double the tender steak. They just know what I want before I do. So, yeah, things are going pretty great for me. Subway, make it what you want. Limited time only at participating restaurants. Double meat based on average 6-inch sub. Okay, bye.
Legends aren't born, they are made. And during our Jeep Celebration event at Cars Plus and Mighty, you'll receive up to $6,000 in accessories with the purchase of a new Jeep Wrangler, Motor Trend SUV of the Year. Customize your new Jeep to the way you want it. Or how about a new Jeep Grand Cherokee? Save up to $5,000. Or save up to $7,500 on a new Jeep Compass Sport. It's our Jeep Celebration event going on now at Cars Plus and Mighty. Cars Plus, driven by you. Accessory special cannot be combined with other offers. See dealer for details.
The body of a pregnant woman found in Chicago.
19-year-old Marlon Ochoa Lopez, 3 weeks after she went missing, was discovered outside a southwest Chicago home in a garbage can, strangled, her baby cut out of her womb. Her mother saying through a translator,
"My daughter was a very joyful person, joyful girl. She had a lot of dreams in her life."
Ochoa was lured to the home via a Facebook post offering free baby supplies. Her baby is now hospitalized in grave condition. Several people are under arrest and facing charges in what police call an unspeakable crime. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
California Governor Gavin Newsom says the Trump administration move to pull nearly $1 billion for the state's high-speed rail project is illegal and a direct assault on the state. And he says California will defend its right to the money in court. The Federal Railroad Administration said it's canceling the money because California hasn't made progress and has strayed from the project's original vision. Facebook banning another business for election meddling, but not U.S. elections.
Facebook saying it's banned an Israeli political consultancy firm for running a disinformation campaign on the social network to disrupt elections in sub-Saharan Africa, Southeast Asia and Latin America. 65 Facebook accounts have been shut down, many of them said to be linked to the Archimedes Group, a company that bills itself as one that can, quote, change reality, according to its clients' wishes. The Archimedes Group hasn't responded to a request for comment. Simon Owen, Fox News.
The Kurt Vonnegut Museum and Library in Indianapolis has reached its goal of raising $1.5 million to acquire and begin renovations on a building to serve as its permanent home. The museum's founder and CEO Julia Whitehead tells the Indianapolis Star it's a wonderful step forward. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
KFC has finally answered the world's most important question. What came first, the chicken or the egg? And the answer is both. Introducing KFC's KFC AM, their new Southern and local-inspired breakfast. AM-loaded platter with chicken fried rice, waffles, and Colonel's chicken congee. KFC also has your all-time favorites, AM chicken and egg wraps, Southern biscuit and sausage sandwich, and hash browns. So for finger-licking good mornings, AM will never be the same at KFC. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on The Point. Half a day. I'm Rita Tidegli of Manila, and this is where I start my day, listening to the voices of our community and sharing thoughts about issues that affect all of us. It all boils down to our people and our land. Ingatan ang iyong tahanan, protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
Get a free Polar Pop, any size, when you fuel up on $35 or more of premium high-performance fuel. Conditions apply. See stores for details. Circle K. Take it easy. Get a free coffee, any size, when you fuel up on $35 or more of premium high-performance fuel. Conditions apply. See stores for details. Circle K. Take it easy. Get $5 off any Circle K car wash package when you purchase $35 or more of premium high-performance fuel. Conditions apply. See stores for details. Circle K. Take it easy.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 7 minutes past 8 a.m. is Friday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. One of two suspects is in custody for invading the Ordot home of 68-year-old Diana Kitigua on Tuesday morning. 24-year-old Francis Jerome Tysican arrested by Guam police yesterday on allegations of home invasion, burglary, theft of property, among other charges. Tysican and another suspect who remains at large are accused of entering the home armed with a gun and a baseball bat and stealing the woman's purse, a pickle jar full of coins, and other items. GPD spokesman Sergeant Paul Tapau says police found the owner of the vehicle used in that crime, and that person identified Tysican and a second suspect as having borrowed the car on that day. It's not Tysican's first arrest. He has a criminal history. He was accused in the June 2011 robbery at the Mermaid Tavern in Agana, also accused in the Ebenezer store robbery in Jonia and the Highway 57 club robbery in Mighty. Meanwhile, Guam police have announced this morning they're looking for 22-year-old Ronnie Vincent Crisostomo Jr., who's wanted for questioning relative to several ongoing criminal investigations, according to the release from GPD. The release from Guam Police spokesman Sergeant Paul Tapau warns that Crisostomo is believed to be armed and should not be approached. He is believed to be avoiding authorities and may flee once sighted. Crisostomo is described as being Chamorro, having a fair complexion, black hair, and brown eyes. Stands between 5'6" and 5'7" inches tall. He's estimated to weigh about 145 to 155 pounds. He has an amber tattoo on the back of his left hand. Anyone with information on Crisostomo's whereabouts is asked to call GPD's dispatch line at 472-8911 or contact Guam Crime Stoppers at 477-HELP. It's not clear whether Crisostomo is wanted in connection with yesterday's arrest of Jerome Tysican relative to that home invasion in Ordot on Tuesday. We'll have more news after this.
Hey, it's Mom. Somebody forgot to thaw the chicken, so meet us at Chili's for 2 for $25. Oh, and congratulate your sister for making the basketball team. She's thrilled. Love you. See you at Chili's.
Enjoy 2 full meal combos for $25. An appetizer, 2 mouth-watering entrees like our crispy chicken breast, smoked barbecue quarter leg, or smoked jalapeno cheddar sausage. Served with corn on the cob and french fries. 2 bold combos for $25. A full-on meal deal available nightly for a limited time. Together, we Chili's.
Save big. Save really big when you bundle up your insurance policies with Nanbo Insurance. Insure your home, auto, motorcycle, or business with Nanbo and enjoy great savings, up to 50%. When it comes to insuring your property, no one knows better than the company with over 50 years of service to the community. Don't compromise the things that matter to you most. Call Nanbo today at 477-9754 or visit nanbo.com for more information. Nanbo Insurance, serving you since 1968.
10 minutes past 8 a.m. here at The Point. Members of the administration's fiscal team were called before lawmakers yesterday afternoon to answer questions about a bill authorizing GovGuam to borrow up to $30 million for the construction of an additional trash cell at the Luzon landfill. Senator Sabina Perez introduced the bill saying, if we don't get this funding, we risk the ire of the court and returning back to full receivership. Timing is of the essence, she said. The 2 existing trash cells at Luzon are expected to be full by 2021. 2 dry seasons are needed to complete construction of a 3rd cell, and that means construction must begin by July of this year. Senators sought assurances yesterday from the fiscal team that the bond borrowing would not result in an increase in monthly trash collection fees. Guam Economic Development Authority Administrator Melanie Mendiola said the financing team approved by the financing plan, that is, approved by the District Court of Guam, shows that the Guam Solid Waste Authority is able to afford the payments without an increase in tipping rates. The bond bill was moved to the voting file yesterday. Session resumes at 10 o'clock this morning. A vote on that measure expected today. Senator Kelly Marsh working with the Mayor's Council of Guam to allow tourists to use the restrooms at the community centers and mayor's offices throughout the island. The senator is the chairwoman of the legislature's Committee on Parks. In a release yesterday, she said one of her priorities is to work with the mayors to address the lack of access to restrooms, which are supposed to be maintained by the Department of Parks and Recreation. However, Parks and Rec has said that they lack the staff to maintain the public restrooms, many of which have been vandalized and are now locked and unusable. Senator said tour companies will be provided with the locations identifying the restrooms if the mayors approve the plan. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Hey, and Mike now with some weather.
I'm just kind of curious, have they done a survey of all the different mayor restrooms and their
I trust that they're in better shape than the ones at the parks.
I'm sure that they are probably in better shape, but by what degree? I mean, are they going to be welcoming to our tourists? And how much fun is that going to be? Somebody's got to go and do number one. And what are we going to go to the mayor's office and be escorted to the restroom in the back? Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
And
It's a job for the inmates.
I thought they had lots of that Gov, Guam, and Boss toilet paper.
Hey! I might still have some of that around here. 8:12 in the morning, and let's take a look at what's going on in weather. This would be the last of the format, the forecast opportunities here. Partly sunny, isolated showers. Watch out for some thunderstorms later on. Then mostly cloudy with scattered showers and isolated thunderstorms this afternoon. And tonight, partly sunny tomorrow and Sunday. Isolated showers are possible. Then southwest winds 5 to 10 miles an hour, becoming southerly 10 to 15 miles an hour tomorrow. Daytime highs 88 degrees, overnight lows 79 degrees. Sunset tonight at 6:40. And about 5:55, 5:54 tomorrow, and we'll watch the sun come up in Agate for the Mango 5K that is scheduled for there. More on that and other racing activities in a couple of minutes. But Michael Knight now with a look at the weather radar. Actually, let's go to windy first because I think that will set things up better for the listeners. What do you think?
That could for right now. It just there's a lot going on out there, and for proof that weather guys don't do it for money, they do it for fun. I've actually been talking to Landon from the National Weather Service on Messenger for the last couple of bits, and I'll share some of what we've talked about. Looking at windy here, we've got winds coming primarily out of the southwest
from the wrong direction.
Yeah, that would indicate that something has happened, something has shifted. Yesterday, our winds were from the northeast. We were expecting southerly winds with the passage of 93W, but 93W never passed through.
Right.
I'll show you why when we go to the radar. What we got going on here right now on radar, clearly at one point we can say that there is a focus point for showers and thunderstorms to our east. My guess at this point is this is some shear line energy, not a shear line actually because it's got no cool air with it, but it is a ripple in the atmosphere, a little wave that hit the moisture that was coming in from 93W. And the circulation that was back out to the east of Rota kind of got all jumbled up and basically dissipated. Most of the energy for 93W actually shifted to the southwest. So we don't really have a circulation out there anymore, but we got a lot of leftover moisture and clearly a focal mechanism. Going to satellite real quick, we can see to the west of Guam, there's not a whole lot going on. We just got a few little clouds out there. And again, you see these little lines of just kind of diagonally across the screen. Those are little ripples of energy coming from this really strong Mayu front that's up north of here. And frankly, this front is way far south for this time of year. Mm-hmm. That's another climatological thing we can't go into right now. Been talking to Landon. We think there may be some...
Because it's nasty.
Yeah, it's very complicated, and this really isn't even supposed to be happening, to be honest with you. Talking to Landon, and we're going to... He's waiting to see what the sounding balloon... They lift a weather balloon at 9 o'clock at the National Weather Service. We'll get some readings from that and see what the precipitable water values are. That's a measure of actual moisture that can be used to be condensed into rainfall throughout the different layers of the atmosphere. We'll get a look at those numbers, and then we'll have a better idea of whether we can actually see some thunderstorms this afternoon. But he says it feels pretty soupy out there, and if the heat's just right, it may be a thunder boomer for us as we go through the day today.
Boy, that's a lot of weather.
It really is.
It's 8:15 in the morning. News and weather together into point, and coming up, sports.
I'm spent.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,600 by calling Family Finance in Agutya at 475-4545, Upper Tumon at 647-5626, or in Dededo, 633-4473. Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959.
Yep. Guam guy online says the polls are shifting. That's what's going on. Didn't you watch that movie? Was it 2012? You remember when that movie came out? And that was the whole big deal, is the polls were shifting and Los Angeles crashed into the earth. Maybe that's not a bad thing. It's 8:16, portions of the Ray Gibson Show here this morning. Being brought to you by my buddies over at American President Lines. APL is shipping the future Micronesia renewable energy. You know, there's never been a better time to go solar. Now that they have got the means, the technology, the science to be able to attach batteries to your solar system. Big batteries. They make it so they hang on the wall, maybe, and get charged up all day and then run all night. And tomorrow you do it all over again. Really, really cool stuff. So call them and find out how to take advantage of that at your place. King's Restaurant, where they got the Crazy 19 menu. It's true. It's a fact. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, appetizers, and desserts all reconfigured and reflavored just for you and your family. Always open, always local. That's King's and Guam Regional Medical City, the first choice for your specialty care needs.
Okay, I think it's coming up soon.
Yeah, we're in Route 1 and near the airport intersection, right?
There, see it? What's the promo code? Look for the promo code.
Check out the Vantage Digital Billboard and reap the rewards. Catch the promo code on the screen and get $10 off your Stroll ride by inputting the promo code on the Stroll Guam app.
Did you see it?
You got it. I got it. You just focus on driving.
Take advantage today and take a look at Vantage Advertising's digital billboard located on Route 1 at the airport intersection.
Yeah, I got you. Portions of the program also brought to you by Take Care Insurance. These guys are having a great day. They've hooked up with Mega Drugs now, and I think that's a big deal. Security Title, Ron and Kim, trying to figure out how to make sure that any property that you're going to buy or sell doesn't have any black marks on it. That's the whole business behind Security Title. And of course, Cars Plus, where they're celebrating the Jeep celebration, up to $6,000 worth of accessories when you get in behind the wheel of your brand new Jeep Wrangler. That's Cars Plus in Mighty.
Getting you back to the talk faster. It's the Ray Gibson Show.
Yeah, that's the idea. Buddy Joe Cruz, the real Joe Cruz, online this morning. So is Tom Tahadzi, Ida Kitatai, Leon Guerrero, Mary Park, Guam Guy is there, Brad Hewitt, talking about mayors should open up hospitality centers at their offices. While using the head, others can shop for village-specific goodies, eats, and treats. You know, I kind of like that idea. That wouldn't necessarily be a terrible thing. You get your Barragata Village T-shirt, or I'm from Mungie Town. Right? What now? What is there a nickname for Ordot Selenpago?
Yeah, the Gauntlet apparently.
The Gauntlet?
Because you'll get robbed at 7:30 in the morning if you live there.
Something happened there?
Yeah, and a 68-year-old lady was robbed
yeah, but
at 7:30
the good
in the
news,
morning.
the good news, they found one of the guys. Yeah,
one of them.
Yeah, but he's going to roll over on the other guy.
Well, and he's going to do it again because he robbed people in 2011 in the Mermaid parking lot. He robbed people in Zonia. He actually, I was a little known fact about me. I was a lunch lady for a short stint here on Island. Yeah. I was a supervisor, worked for Sodexo, and my kitchen was Emu Lujan for the school year. And I was I wasn't physically there, but I was the kitchen supervisor when the lady, the teacher was pepper sprayed and she was robbed in the parking lot of the school. That was also this guy. That was back in 2013, I think. 12, somewhere around there.
So I don't know that he ever did any real time for any of the
I
crimes.
cruised his Facebook. He's not going to get better. So if somebody can meet him with a weapon of choice the next time he comes to their door, that would be greatly
Jungle
appreciated.
Justice, 8:20 in the morning, 888-8255-888-TALK. And maybe the weapon of choice is going to be, as we talked about the other day.
Mine's a pickaxe.
A sword. A sword. Anthony Camacho is on the line. His attorney, Anthony Camacho, is on the line. Yesterday, we were talking about the foil camp that is going to be coming up here on Guam. We've actually got the guy that's throwing that party. Good morning, Counselor. How you doing?
Well, good morning, Ray. How are you?
You know what? I had never been better. You know, I pass by your place all the time and threaten to go in, but I always get sidetracked and go to Roots instead.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're welcome to come up and take a look at what we got anytime we're there. We're usually there in the evenings.
Right. Well, what is up? What do you have upstairs, by the way?
Well, it's basically called a SAL, and that simply is short for, Salle d'Armes, because the Guam Fencing Federation, we practice the French School of Fencing. So that's simply what we call the area where we train. It's simply two pists, and if you were to go up there, you would see our fencing masks, And really, it's just a big room.
So you've got a foil camp that's going to be coming up. FOIL is as in the sword. The fencing foil is what people are going to be training on. And I was looking at this. I'm a little bit I'm confused. Is this for little kids, or can grown-ups like me and Blake go by there and play with the foils?
Well, this particular camp is aimed at middle to high school students. Hence, the age bracket's 12 to 18. But traditionally, for the last, 4 years or so, we put on classes for adults, and that's our group classes. You could also take individual classes if you sign up for them. But we train in the three main weapons of fencing. Foil is the first one. It's the introductory weapon. The next is epee, and then the third is saber. So we're actually going to start our saber class. This is for adults. It's open also to teenagers, and that's probably going to start next month.
Nice.
It'll last all summer.
Nice. Okay, so I don't need to start with the foil because I was thinking actually about coming in with something like my great grandfather's sword that he got when he was a Marine.
Well, we wouldn't. That's probably closer to the saber. Okay, you're talking about if it's a Marine officer sword, and so that is the type of weapon we're going to be learning or practicing this summer, and. But our weapons aren't, so these are all Olympic regulation type weapons, hence they don't have points, they don't have edges, they're very safe, okay? It still does kind of sting if you get hit, though.
Yeah, well, as one might imagine. So you got a guy, now it's going to be starting on the 20th, goes until the 30th, 31st, 5:30 in the afternoon until about 6:30, so it's just an hour, and as you point out, middle school and high school kids. And they'll all be trained by a guy named Leon Thomas.
Well, yeah, Leon Thomas and I will both be doing the camp. We also have a few other foil coaches, and they're trying to get certified. So there'll be a group of us actually teaching. And Leon Thomas is, Guam Fencing Federation is part of the Oceania Fencing Confederation. Mm-hmm. So the whole world is divided into these various districts. For fencing, and so we're in Oceania. Japan, for example, in the Philippines, they're in Asia, that region. So we're in Oceania, and Leon Thomas is the regional development officer for Oceania. So he's a level 3 coach, which is pretty high for all weapons, for foil, for epee, and saber. I, for example, am a level 1 coach, so he's way above me. And it is always a treat to have him come out here. And he's a very experienced coach, and I hope that a lot of people on Guam take advantage of his class while he's here.
So Blake had a question about the Olympic guy, the GNOC guy that was out here, and how come he didn't participate?
Yeah, how come he didn't stop by? Was he too busy being the president of the IOC and everything?
Well, we did apply for the Guam National Olympic Committee. Our application is still pending, so we're not an official part of the Guam National Olympic Committee at this time. Further, I think in terms of why he was out here, he certainly wasn't out here for us.
Right.
He was, and he was only out here for a short period of time. Mm-hmm. So there were many other federations that I'm quite sure he was paying attention to that are part of the Guam National Olympic Committee. So. I'm not surprised that he didn't stop by, but we were just ending our group foil class, so that's one that adults could participate in. That ran from January. It just ended last week. So that's what we were doing around the time that he was here.
So there's a question from, I think it's James online, asking about lightsabers. So you're talking about the foils and the sabers and
there's
and
a group
the
for that, James. There's a different group for that.
Oh, it's a whole different set of guys.
Yes.
Do you guys ever get together?
Yes, they get together every.
I'm talking about Force Federation and
Force
these guys
Federation,
over at the Guam Fencing Federation.
Yeah, Force Federation is different than the Fencing Federation. There are people who actually get together in Assen, I think every other Friday, and they fight with lightsabers.
Are magic mushrooms involved?
No.
I like that.
I have a question for Anthony involving a saber. I'm trying to figure out how a saber fits in with the other two weapons. Of course, we think of the foil and the epee. You're kind of touch and go and jabbing, but most people think of a saber as being more of a hacking or slashing type weapon. How does that fit into the epee and this type of sword work?
Well, it goes like this. So in terms of the saber, it all has the main difference really is what parts of the weapon can be used to score a hit. So in foil, for example, foil and epee, it's only the tip. So you really got to get a thrust in. And for foil, for example, it's only a limited target area. It's mainly the torso. And for epee, it's the entire body. Epee is the closest to traditional dueling, for example, because the whole body is a target. Saber, on the other hand, so the legs are not a target, the rest of the body is, and then it is the only one of the three weapons that you could actually use the edge. So you could cut. essentially with a saber.
So, but you can use the pointy side of it and the edge at the same time.
Yes, you could. You couldn't use it at the same time. There's different techniques.
Seems like it would more resemble kendo at that point.
It's not a two-handed weapon. It's a one-handed weapon. You have to understand that the saber really evolves from the horse. It's a weapon for the person mounted on a horse. And so it's one-handed because if you ride a horse, you would well know, you can't, take both your hands off the reins. The horse, might have a mind of its own. So you always have to control your mount as well as control your weapon. So that's really why the style evolved the way it did. So one-handed, and you could use the edge and the point.
Is Arya Stark not just the coolest person in the world?
Well, I hate to say it, but they're not really practicing fencing in Game of Thrones. Okay.
Don't you're burning me down with your jive talking. Don't bring me back into reality here. I'm crushing on Arya Stark.
You're confusing the dark arts of Bravos with fencing. It's not the same.
It's different.
I probably am. If I had my choice, so it wouldn't be Arya Stark.
Right.
It would be the wildling that Jon Snow
Torment
had a fling with, but that was a while back.
Oh, yeah. Ingrid, yeah.
He married her in real life. She was so awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
She was more of an archer, though, than a swords person. So,
dude, we got to get together and talk about this stuff one of these days. 8:28 in the morning. I'll talk to you soon. For information on this, find Anthony Camacho and the guys over at the Guam Fencing Federation. 647-3644, right?
You got it.
All right, buddy. Hey, listen, have a great weekend. I'll see you out there.
Take care.
I promise you I will. An opportunity to go off in a completely different sports-related direction, talking about the foil camp. Again, it starts on May the 20th, goes until the 31st. Absolutely free, but reservations are probably going to be required for you. So go ahead and make that telephone call. All Island meet last night. I do have a one or two. I've got some that might feel like results.
Go ahead. Do you have it, or do you want me to do it?
It's not on me now.
I have it as well.
Kelly sent me a thing.
Oh, okay. Well, I can nutshell it for you. I can summarize it for you very quickly. The Guam High Panthers boys, they secured their three-peat as they took the crown yet again. Strong performance at the All-Island Track and Field event as the JFK Lady Islanders, led by a familiar name, Rochelle Tugati.
Right.
If that sounds familiar, it's because her sister Regine is running for the Navy and has set all kinds of records here locally. Well, her younger sister Rochelle, still at JFK doing her thing, and she helps her team win. She comes in first place. 15.9 seconds. By 2 seconds, she beat the second place runner in varsity women's 100-meter hurdles. So that helps lift her team up to the top spot. She also took varsity women's the 100-meter with the time of 12.96. And anything else? Yeah, that's pretty much it from Rochelle Tugati from the short list that I have here. But yes, the JFK Lady Islanders women's champions for the season, and the Guam High boys, the Panthers, they are three-peat champions for the boys for the IIAG 2019 track and field season.
The other summary I got was from Kelly Rodriguez for team standings on the men's varsity side. Third place GW, second JFK, and winning for the third year in a row Guam High School. On the women's side, third was Simon Sanchez, second place Guam High, and in first was John F. Kennedy. Difference between first and second for the women, only 6 points. Great meet all around, lots of personal records set, and one of the only sports where all of the athletes support each other, no matter what team you're on. And having run high school track back when I was just a squirt here, I can tell you it's exactly that. There is obviously a sense of competition, but when you're on the sidelines watching people, everybody is in support of everybody. That's one of my favorite things about running.
So that wraps up. We also have the boys volleyball champions wrapping up, and the final sport, other than paddling, I guess, but the final sport that I have news on, three-time defending champions, the Lady Royals from Notre Dame High School. Talked a little bit about them yesterday as they punched their ticket to the championship over the St. John's School Knights. They won out at Leo Palace this week 3-1. Well, meanwhile, they were awaiting who they were going to play, and that has been decided as, I'm sorry if I butcher your name, but the mighty Academy Cougars, they defeat the Guam High Lady Panthers 2-1. Big goals from Iina?
Yep.
Inia? I-N-I-N-A. How would you say that? Inia? Inia Yarder and Mia St. Nicholas. I know her. They were big time, and they were clutch. They scored both of their goals in the final 15 minutes. That helps lift the Cougars over the Lady Panthers in that cat fight 2-1. They will advance to the championship. That happens in Milau. Actually, at GW Field, the championship will take place Saturday, May 18th. No, excuse me. Wait. Cougars and Panthers, yeah. The Cougars and Panthers played at GW. That's where I got that from. And the championship will take place on the 18th. I had that right, 7 p.m. That's Saturday night at GFA's National Training Center out in Harmon on the big field. Third place game will kick off at 5 and then championship at 7. As seems like the Royals and who did I say and Guam High will I mean, not the Royals, the Knights and Guam High will kick things off on the consolation game, and then the championship will have the Royals and the Cougars.
Semi-related subject. I think most folks know Simon Sanchez's grandson Zacky's got some problems and is in hospital in the States trying to get through a particularly difficult kind of cancer. There is a medical fundraiser going to be taking place, and I like this. It is a pasta lunch. Now it's a pasta lunch from Gabriel's, and they know how to do pastas and spaghettis and stuff like that.
Get somewhere safe after that because you're going to want to lay down and sleep.
Yeah, absolutely. So it'll take place on Tuesday, May the 21st. Get your orders in. I'll give you a phone number, and I'll put it on Facebook Live so everybody can get a hold of Nate St. Nicholas on this. But you submit your orders by Sunday the 19th. You can choose between penne alla vodka, spaghetti bolognese, and that comes with garlic toast, bottled water, and a cookie. It's only $12. Like I said, and the food comes from Gabriel's, and this will help draw some proceeds and support for Zachy and as he continues to spread his wings, this medical fundraiser. So Nate St. Nicholas's number, 929-6671. That's 929-6671. As I said, I'll put it on Facebook Live so that you can contact him directly. $12. It's a plate of food from Gabriel's. They'll take care of all of the delivery on May the 21st, but we want to get the orders in on the 19th. So make that phone call this morning. And that's all the time we've got for sports today.
And for the week.
That's it?
For the week, yeah.
I guess.
For the week.
So, yeah, that's it's the third weekend of my birthday month, so you'll see me out there somewhere.
Was it about people? And I was hanging out with I was hanging out with a friend, and she also having a whole birthday month. And her birthday was yesterday, so I don't know what it is about people born in May.
You know, it's
a Taurus thing.
Yeah, it's a total Taurus thing, but it's groovy anyway you slice it up. So you have a fantastic weekend. We got headlines with, what's his name? Oh, Kevin Kerrigan is coming up next.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
Warriors Trailblazers game number 2. Blake says as he walks out the door, I guess we've still got some conference finals that are taking place right now. It's 8:35 in the morning, and, well, I've kept him waiting, but that's all right. We learned important new things about the foils and the epes and the sabers and the foil camp with Leon Thomas. Right now, it's time for headlines from the Guam Daily Post. Here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. And the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning: delays in the construction of the new Marine Corps base in Finnegajen have postponed the arrival of the first contingent of U.S. Marines from Okinawa to Guam. Kelly Rodriguez, the communications deputy at the Marine Corps Activity Office on Guam, says the first Marines could arrive sometime in the first half of 2025. It's not yet clear which month they'll arrive. She explained it's all tied to the construction of the infrastructure that would support the Marines that come here. In May 2017, the Marine Corps projected the first transfer of Marines to Guam might begin sometime in 2024. That's now been pushed back to sometime in the first half of 2025. Rodriguez said the change is the result of the reassessment of where we are in progress on the construction. Japan's Kyodo News Service earlier this week reported that the first Marines from Okinawa would start arriving by October 2024, but Rodriguez said that report was the result of a misunderstanding. Community activist Ken Leon Guerrero is seeking a court order to force the Consolidated Commission on Utilities to release records of a November 2018 closed-door meeting at which pay raises for utility executives were discussed. The Guam Daily Post submitted its own request for those minutes, as have other media, and Bob Klitsky, an attorney who currently hosts the Tall Tales program here on The Point. CCU commissioners have discussed releasing the minutes of last November's executive session. However, CCU Chairman Joey Duenas said he would be uncomfortable releasing the minutes, not knowing for sure which portions should be redacted and who would decide which portions would be released. Duenas has said it would be best if a judge were to order the release of those records should the court deem any portion of them releasable. Meanwhile, Senator Clint Rigel yesterday, whose committee oversees utilities, announced that he has scheduled an oversight hearing on the issue for next week on Thursday. Department of Revenue Taxation authorizing the Department of Administration to release a little more than $4 million in tax refund checks in the next few days. The checks are not being mailed out all at once, according to a joint statement from Reventax and DOA. This round of refunds will cover at least part of the error-free income tax returns filed on January 29th of this year. Roughly 1,200 checks are being sent out. This is the third batch of tax refund checks to be mailed out for the 2018 tax year. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
Okay. Hey, did you get a note from Congressman Mike Sinicolas?
Not recently.
Got one from him just a little bit ago with a video attached. Congressman Sinicolas highlights compact impact disparities and pursues EITC. In a natural resources budget hearing with the Secretary of the Interior, Congressman Sinicolas highlights how Guam and Hawaii both get the same compact impact per migrant, but EITC costs per migrant are not factored despite their effects on Guam coffers. The Interior Secretary affirmed that the disparity may have been a federal government error and committed to work with Congressman Sinicolas and Treasury to determine how to find answers. This approach is yet another strategy my office is deploying to recover EITC costs. We are keeping EITC front and center, so there's little distraction as to what we are seeking an administrative remedy for, said Congressman Sinicolas. As I said, there's a video attached to that, and I'll get around to playing that before too much longer. That's headlines from Kevin Kerrigan and the Guam Daily Post. iConnect time is 8:39. Swing by the nearest iConnect and learn what you need to learn about great packages and plans they've got, so you're not spending an arm and a leg just answering phones and sending and receiving text messages and jumping on Facebook every once in a while. They've got plans that will work for you. Call them at 888-8888.
If you're driving, chances are you'll need gas soon. And by the growl in your tummy, a trip to the grocery store too. But don't just buy gas and groceries without getting double miles. Instead, apply for the new United Credit Card from First Hawaiian Bank and start earning double miles towards your next trip. Gas, groceries, getaway. With the new United Credit Card, apply at FHB.com. First Hawaiian Bank, member FDIC. Equal housing lender. Additional terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
It's Micronesia Mall's 30th anniversary, and to celebrate, we are giving away a new Kia Soul LX, a Mazda 3i Sport, the popular Honda Civic LX, and 30 Manila Flyaways during our 30th anniversary Drive Away Flyaway. Win 3 great cars from Triple J Auto Group, 30 Flyaways from Philippine Airlines, plus thousands of prizes from Burger King and Foot Locker when you play Micronesia Mall's 30th anniversary Drive Away Flyaway.
The drawing for the Mazda CX-5 is tomorrow at 2 p.m. You must be present to win.
Traffic is more time. Second string traffic rolling around here. Do we have anything that's going to slow you down? No, just when Mark Cruz absolutely delighted in a Beavis and Butthead way when Anthony Camacho said thrust. Tom Tomasiak says, give Tony my regards. You got it, buddy. No problem. What have I got to take care of here? As I said, traffic gizmo, and usually by this time, most of the traffic has dissipated, and that's what the traffic gizmo and the maps are telling me right now. Intersection's going to be a little bit busy, but I don't see any accidents working. working anywhere. I don't see anything that is going to be of a major issue. That's what I'm looking at, and sometimes the traffic gizmo might be missing what you are in front of. So if you are in the back end of an accident or something like that, let me know about. What is you 888-825-5888-TALK, or send me a picture of it at 988-5874. That's Right Now Traffic here on The Point.
We know too well the inconvenience of not having power after a storm. You worry about food in the freezer going bad. Nights get hot. It's hard finding comfort when going to sleep. These are realities. But with solar and battery storage from Micronesia Renewable Energy, these realities can be a thing of the past. The solar works during the day and the batteries power your home at night. Call 632-2613 to see how solar plus battery storage can make life a little more convenient. MRE, the smarter choice.
I'm seeing some weird traffic patterns around the mighty McMobile area. Traffic in both directions around Harvest Christian Academy looking slow. Is today the last day of school? Is that what's going on? Is it just everybody? I know for seniors could be the last day of school. It's supposed to be graduating a whole bunch of them tonight. 8:42 in the morning is 8:42 is the time here at the radio station, and looking at the Congressman's House of Representatives seal on a video from Congressman Mike Sinicolas. Get around to playing that for you in a couple of minutes. But there is work being done over at the legislature. Yesterday they were talking about let's go and borrow some more money, and so it looks like the folks over at GITA are going to be busy in a couple of different fronts. One of them is bonds to support the work that GWA needs to do, and other one is work that the guys over at the Guam Solid Waste Authority need to do as well. We've touched on those subjects with Melanie Mendiola from GITA joining us now on the radio station. Good morning, Mel.
Good morning. Half a day, Ray.
Half a day, what do you...
Harvest is next Thursday.
Is it next Thursday?
Yeah, that's what Noah told me. I dropped him off at...
For the last day of school?
Yep.
Okay, but graduation for the seniors is tonight.
I think it's tonight, yeah.
Yeah, because I got a ticket. I'm supposed to go. Anyway, 8:40. What else is going on this weekend? What else are you going to be working on?
This weekend, let's see. With regard to not a whole lot.
Well, I mean, just anything. I mean, you're generally well connected and highly socially mobile person. So what have you got? Where are you going to be snuggling up on a glass of wine at?
I'm just going to do the Matai circuit probably. As usual.
The Matai, are you running for something?
No. Of course
fun.
not.
All right, 8:43 in the morning, and so I got Mel on the line. A lot of work being talked about, a lot of talk at the legislature about bond borrowing efforts. You ready to go to work on that?
Yes, we are. That was a long time yesterday. We spent about 4 hours at the legislature working out their questions. Not even so much about the bond. I mean, in addition to the bonds, they also just had questions about sort of the end of the GSWA receivership and whatnot. Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, but that's not in your lane.
No. So GSWA General Manager Mr. Larry Gasp was there, so he was able to answer some of their questions, and so it was a lot of information.
Were there a lot of people that were breathless and urgent? Oh my God, we've got to get this done. We've got to take care of this, and we have to vote on this like today, so that we can get the money and get started on the construction of the cell.
Well, I think the sense of urgency, I think Senator Sabina Perez definitely expressed the sense of urgency. But I think, of course, you have many of our senators who obviously want to go in there with their eyes wide open and know exactly what they have in front of them.
So did they narrow down a number for GITA to start working on for this cell? Will it only be the cell, or as we've talked about before, and it seems to me that the conversation is modulated up and down, but as we talked about before, including funds for GSWA to be able to manage and maintain the closure of the ORDOT dump?
It will be strictly for the construction of Lead Zone Cell 3.
Okay.
So as far as the ORDOT post-closure, we've been allowed by the court to... So in previous conversations with the court, there was the expectation from the U.S. EPA to have an ORDOT post-closure trust account pre-funded. They said, the account would need $10 or $15 million. And so what the GITA team did was we said, okay, well, we can look into getting a bond to pre-fund that $10 or $15 million. And then the U.S. EPA came back and said, Actually, we don't think it's 10 or 15 million. We think it's more like 21 or 22 million. And then we said, well, okay.
Yeah.
Which turned into a completely different proposition when it comes to borrowing. I mean, there's a certain amount of time when, the analogy I used in the courtroom was, there's a certain point in time when you have to ask yourself, is the juice worth the squeeze? Because what we were doing here was we were doing the calculation, and we said, if we issue the construction of Luzon and the post-closure of Ordet under a general obligation bond, this would be your payment.
Mm-hmm.
This would save you this much a year in cash flow. All right. And then as the amount creeped up and creeped up and creeped up, there was no savings in cash flow by doing the bond. So we said we may as well. And I think the U.S. EPA felt kind of bad. And so at that point in time, they compromised with us, and they said, okay, we don't need the entire account pre-funded. We're willing to enter into a pay-as-you-go type of arrangement as long as the money that goes into a trust account. At that point in time, we said, okay, so then.
But that relies on the idea that we've got a semi-fixed income that's going to be happening there. Is there the likelihood? Does everybody agree that those funds are always going to be what they are and as available as we think they are?
Well, that was one of the questions that was brought up multiple times yesterday. It was posed to GSWA, and what was posed to both of us. And what I said with regard to the bond was, I said, the bond payments are level. They're level for the life of the bond. And I said, so if there's unexpected impacts to the impacts to cash flow, there's two things at hand. Either A, your revenue didn't come in at on target, it came in lower, or B, you weren't able to, the expenses were higher than what was projected.
Right.
And so I said, so the questions that we should really be asking at this point in time are, what measures are you putting into place or looking to put into place in the coming years to ensure that you're meeting your targets, your projected revenue and expenses? So we went out to we're going out to the bond market with the expectation that these are the 5-year projections for GSWA. The receiver took a look at so GSWA prepared these projections, these financial projections of revenue and expenses. The receiver concurred, U.S. EPA concurred. All the different parties said, yeah, these look pretty good, and so this is the information we're operating on. Now, whether or not they perform according to plan in the coming years, that's going to be in large part the responsibility of the board of GSWA and the management of GSWA to make sure they do two things. Number one, work towards enhancing revenue or towards decreasing expenses.
Right. Yeah. So this now GovGuam, right?
Yep.
Okay. I will. I'll reserve my comments until I'm absolutely 100% positive these guys know what they're doing. 3 weeks in, and my trash is still getting picked up. So I'd say that we're fairly stable right now. Now the other big conversation about bonds is the GWA. They've got a lot of work to do and need to be pulling in some dough. You're going to be working with them on getting that bond in?
We likely will, but that's I think they're planning for a little further out. So GSWA is likely to happen by the end of likely to be funded right around Liberation, our 75th Liberation, whereas GWA I think is going to be probably timed with maybe the new fiscal year.
All right. Well, I'll keep that in my head for the next telephone call as we try to figure out how much we're going to need. How much more creditability do we have around here? How much more could we go out and borrow?
So for the debt limit for general obligation, we are talking about right around after this borrowing. Now this is there's already been a few borrowings authorized. One of them is the Department of Land Management building. Another one is Labor and Delivery Board for GMH. So
wait. Do we get a bite on the Labor and Delivery Board?
No. Two rounds.
Okay, but it's been authorized, right?
It has been authorized.
That's the point. Okay.
And so we're probably going to go out again at some point in time in the coming in the coming months or two. And so given what is already authorized and the $30 million that we're requesting for GSWA, you're looking at just under $200 million. So about 195, 196.
So that's what we got left over. Do we have anything that's gonna mature anytime soon? Do we have anything that we can pay off early or refi?
I believe we have the what is it? The one that we have one that's coming up, and let me see this. Let me see my schedule. I think we have one coming up in 2020, 2020. I don't have it in front of me. That was the one that was, I believe it was used in part for something over at UOG. Was it maybe SBPA? Yeah, I don't have it off the top.
I was wondering if there's anything big that we can, make one big payment on and get out from under.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I mean, what's our original sin here this year? $200 million, $200 million worth of debt that we have to pay.
220. Or wait, I'm sorry. 250. No, I'm sorry.
Between it's general obligation bonds, utility bonds, things like that. I want to say that we're into it. So for the first $200 million that come into the Department of Revenue and Taxation, that money's already spoken for.
Mm-hmm. We have, let's see, we have 5 million series. Oh, the 2009 series bonds. Those should be paid off soon. 2009 is 5 million. The Guam Legislature buildings, 4 million. University of Guam, 11. BPT, the various BPT.
The various BPT loans that we've taken out in the past.
Those are the big ones.
Yeah,
kind of like 70% of the bonds that we're.
Where do I find that? I know that there's an abstract, the borrowing bond abstract on Gita's website. You've got a current one, right?
InvestGuam.com.
Okay, InvestGuam.com, and dig around for that, and that'll give you all the information that you need in terms of how much we owe and what I like to refer to as our original sin debt that's got to get taken care of before we start doing anything else around here. 8:52, Mel, it's always fun talking with you.
Yeah, you too. You have a wonderful weekend.
You know I will, because it's weekend number 3 of Ray Gibson's birthday month. If you see me out after midnight, send me home.
Will do.
All right, I'll talk to you later. 888-825-5888-TALK. 8:52 in the morning, and like I said, I got a note from that had a video attached to it from Congressman Michael Knight. I have not watched the whole thing. This thing will go about five minutes or so, but apparently it's a conversation about EITC and compact impact recompensation from the federal government. What are you giggling about over there?
You just made me a congressman. That's awesome.
Did I say Michael Knight?
Yes, you did.
God. You know what it is? Can I tell you what? I know exactly where that came from. It's Friday.
I was going to say,
it's Friday. What time is it? We are an hour and 6.5 minutes away from the weekend, as far as I'm concerned, because I'm mentally checking out at 10, and it's also possible I've already mentally checked out here. So this will kill the rest of the hour for the most part. Congressman Michael Sinicolas now here with what looks like a video, U.S. Department of Interior Budget and Policy Priorities for 2020. And away it goes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good afternoon, Mr. Secretary. Thank you so much for being here with us, and thank you also for making time to visit me in my office and have a dialogue about some of the concerns we're facing on Guam. I thought it was very constructive, and I think that we shared some good ideas. And I wanted to speak specifically about a budgetary concern that I think is something that relates to the conversation that we had when you met with me in my office. And this is with respect to the Compact of Free Association, and most specifically the compact impact funding that's provided as a result of the Compact of Free Association. Recently, the Department of Interior published the recent counts of compact migrants, and I'm going to reference those numbers with respect to Guam's count and with respect to Hawaii's counts. And I'm going to reference the amounts that were provided relative to those counts, and have a discussion about how those figures correlate, but more specifically how there are certain elements that I think are not being properly accounted for. On Guam, the most recent count of compact migrants was about 18,874 based on the report. The funding levels that were provided as a result of the compact impact was $16,835,958 for an average per migrant amount of $892 per migrant. For Hawaii, the compact migrant count was 16,680. The dollar figure provided was $14,880,034, and that was also for an average migrant amount of $892. And so Guam and Hawaii are both receiving the same amount of compact impact in order to assist the local governments in handling the costs associated with hosting compact migrants as a result of the Treaty of the Compact of Free Association. However, there is one very distinct difference between Hawaii and Guam with respect to compact migrant costs, and that is the earned income tax credit. The earned income tax credit in Hawaii is actually funded by the U.S. Treasury, and so any compact migrant who qualifies for the earned income tax credit in their income tax filing, that's actually money that comes into Hawaii from the U.S. Treasury. On Guam, Guam has been absorbing the earned income tax credit liability since 2008. And so any migrant worker, as a result of the treaty, that's receiving the earned income tax credit is actually drawing those funds down from the Guam coffers. And so the $892 is provided per migrant for Guam and for Hawaii, I'm assuming is formulaically based as determined by the department. But if that formula is also factoring in the economic contribution of the migrant worker, then the earned income tax credit liability of those migrant workers also needs to be factored in. And I don't think that that's something that this government has really paid attention to. When I brought this issue to the attention of your colleague, Mr. Mnuchin, during some questions I was asking him in my role in the Financial Services Committee, he was also taken by surprise with respect to that. And so the question that I had for you, Mr. Secretary, is are you aware of whether or not the earned income tax credit liabilities are being factored into the formula for the determination of compact impact?
So you raised this issue with me last week or the week before, and I don't have a good answer for you, but I am more than willing to either figure out if it should appropriately be factored in or if we need to work with Treasury on it. So I don't want to get into a question about the allocation of funds between two representatives, but it seems like an anomaly that maybe it's just not been thought of. Right. But we'll look into it. We'll look into it and get to the bottom of that.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Yeah, formula notwithstanding, I think that my colleague from Hawaii will also agree with me that those formulas need to be reconsidered. Even just the cost of educating an individual, at least in my district, is $6,500 per pupil, and the $892 per migrant is just very grossly insufficient. As a matter of fact, based on a per capita basis, 18,874 migrants represents over 10% of the population of Guam, and yet the compact impact that's provided is less than 2%. And so there's a gross disparity with respect to that, and I think those formulas need to be revisited. But formulas notwithstanding, I'd like to specifically request for your assistance in setting up meetings with Secretary Mnuchin so that we can get to the bottom of this EITC question, because it's a serious liability for the people of Guam and we really need to resolve it.
I will promise that we'll work with you and work with Treasury. I can't promise that we'll get the Secretary of Treasury, but we'll get somebody.
All right.
That's a commitment I'll make.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. I yield back.
Well, how about that? 8:58. I'm not thrilled with Mr. Bernhardt's kind of nonchalant, almost aloof responses to Mike Sinnicklis. Yeah, Mike could do that.
That could be cannabis.
Yeah. You think maybe just a big big old
bong hit before he got in there.
Before the thing, hi. What's up? What, EITC? Again? We're going to talk about that? Right on. 9 o'clock in the morning, the radio station is KUSG.
The only thing he was missing was a far out, man.
You just know this guy was a peace-love dove hippie back in the South. I'm gonna Google him. I want to find out a little bit more about that guy's background. At any rate, but nice to see Mike Sinnicklis continuing to bang the drum and ask the important questions for Guam. Seconds away from 9 o'clock in the morning, the radio station, like I said, KUSG. Again, you were 93.3 The Point. Fox News Live is coming up next.
Charged with murder. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Chicago police say 46-year-old Clarissa Figueroa and her daughter, 24-year-old Desiree Figueroa, charged in the death of 19-year-old Marlon Ochoa Lopez. The young woman had been missing since April 23rd. She was found strangled, her baby cut from her body.
Working with one of Marlon's friends stated to the detectives that Marlon was on a chat site on Facebook. She gave the detectives the proper information, and the detectives at that point were able to get into and see that chat site.
Deputy Chief of Detectives Brendan Dinahan, the older woman's boyfriend, has been charged with concealment of a homicide. President Trump unveils a sweeping new immigration plan.
Currently, 12% of green cards are awarded based on employment and skills. 66% are based on family ties. President Trump wants to flip those numbers, increasing employment and skills to 57%, reducing family to 33%.
We discriminate against genius. We discriminate against brilliance. We won't anymore once we get this passed, and we hope to get it passed as soon as possible.
Democrats agree that the current system of legal immigration is broken, but just the words merit-based they find offensive.
Fox's John Roberts at the White House. Advocates sounding new alarms about the federal government's treatment of families after a 2.5-year-old child became the fourth minor known to have died after being detained by border agents since December. The boy had spent several weeks in a hospital. Customs and Border Protection says the boy's mother told agents her son was ill April 6th, 3 days after they were apprehended near a bridge in El Paso, Texas. Boeing says it's completed a software update for its 737 MAX jets, which have been grounded since March. This is Fox News.
We have some really great home loan programs, but did you know we have great business loans too? Every day we're working with companies to purchase equipment, to buy or build properties, or make tenant improvements. We offer letters of credit, working capital, and term loans, and we make all of our credit decisions here. Commercial loans, commercial banking from Bank Pacific.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal housing lender, member FDIC. Viva Bank Pacific.
Get a free Polar Pop any size when you fuel up on $35 or more of premium high-performance fuel. Conditions apply. See stores for details. Circle K. Take it easy. Get a free coffee any size when you fuel up on $35 or more of premium high-performance fuel. Conditions apply. See stores for details. Circle K. Take it easy. Get $5 off any Circle K car wash package when you purchase $35 or more of premium high-performance fuel. Conditions apply. See stores for details. Circle K. Take it easy.
Opponents of Alabama's new strictest in the nation abortion law already planning legal action.
The ACLU and Planned Parenthood say they intend to file a lawsuit to block Alabama's new abortion law. Late Wednesday, Republican Governor Kay Ivey signed a bill making it a Class A felony for doctors to provide abortions except in cases where the mother's life is in danger. The new law makes no exceptions for rape or incest and is scheduled to take effect in 6 months. The governor explained the bill's sponsors see the law as an opportunity for the U.S. Supreme Court to revisit its 1973 Roe v. Wade decision, which made abortion legal. The ACLU of Alabama issued a statement saying, "We will not allow that to happen, and we will see them in court." Jonathan Seri, Fox News.
New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio making it official today, announcing he's running for president. Federal investigators take a close look at a fatal crash involving a Tesla and a tractor-trailer.
A Tesla Model S drove under a tractor-trailer in Florida, killing the driver, shearing off the car's roof. Federal investigators say that car was put on semi-autonomous autopilot mode 10 seconds before the accident, and that the driver's hands had been off the wheel for 8 seconds. Also, they say there was no attempt at braking or swerving by the driver or the autopilot system. The accident is a lot like one also in Florida 3 years ago. A Tesla on autopilot didn't stop and went under a semi-trailer. The mode, says the company, is meant to supplement safety, not take over completely for an inattentive driver. Chris Foster, Fox News.
Matt Damon and Christian Bale will wave the green flag as honorary starters for this year's Indy 500. The two are co-starring in the new movie Ford versus Ferrari, which profiles the corporate battles waged by American car designer Carroll Shelby and British driver Ken Miles. They teamed up to use a Ford car against Enzo Ferrari's team at the 24 Hours of Le Mans in 1966. The movie due out in November. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
In illness and in wellness, Calvo's Select Care is health care that is there for you. That's why over 80% of the Guam medical community places their trust and insures with us. We offer our members wellness and fitness programs for a healthier lifestyle and provide a comprehensive medical network on and off island to help members from unexpected illnesses. Contact Calvo's Select Care today for more information.
It's 9:05. Have you had breakfast today? Did you eat? Are you hungry? Go to King's and Good Morning Harmon. They got the crazy 19 menu. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, appetizers, dessert. And the cool thing is you can get all of that stuff regardless of what time of day it is. You can have lunch at breakfast time. You can have fried chicken at breakfast if you want to. You can have eggs at dinner time if you want to as well. You hook it up the way you want it. But check out the King's Menu, the crazy menu at King's this morning in Harmon. Always open, always local. Portions of the program brought to you by Micronesia Renewable Energy. Never been a better time to go solar. And now they've got batteries that hook up with your solar system. Call for details on how you're going to get that attached to the goodies on your rooftop. Also brought to you by Cars Plus. They're in the middle of the Jeep Celebration, where you get yourself behind the wheel of a brand new Jeep Wrangler, and you could get up to $6,000 in accessories to customize it and make it uniquely your Jeep. Wouldn't that be cool? American President Lines is shipping the future, and portions of the program finally brought to you by Guam Regional Medical City, the first choice for all of your specialty care needs.
It's the Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
What? The weekend already? You gotta be kidding me. Where's Monday? When does the weekend going to officially end? What's going on? 888-8255-888-TALK. So a little bit of the conversation that's this morning had to do with what looks like some kind of construction, some kind of activity that's going to be taking place at Northgate. And I hope whatever gets put there is actually given the name Northgate something, right? Like the El Chapo of broadcasting. This place will be the Northgate Don Quixote. Everybody says it's going to be Don Quixote. Got a guy on the WhatsApp that says, I've reviewed the plans, Ray. It's going to be a Don Quixote. I don't know. Somebody else said it's going to be a Staples. As in the home office supply store, right? I don't know. I'm just happy that something's going to be going on there. I've always, it's one of those places that never seems to change. I mean, it's always been that spot in, as you're making your way down Airport Road and Marine Corps Drive. And once upon a time, there used to be a Northgate Payless, and when that closed, there was no reason to call anything down there Northgate. So I hope, no matter what, when it gets built up, it will be called the Northgate Don Quixote, the Northgate Staples, or the Northgate whatever it is, because I've always liked that as a name for that particular location. Only old-timers seem to be using that one anymore. Anyway, so that's what's going to be, they say that's what's going to be going up there. It's either going to be the Don Quixote, as I said, as everybody on Facebook seems to be saying, or it's going to end up being a Staples. We'll just have to watch and see what happens. And I tell you what, these guys obviously got a handle on contractors, because they went in there, and I don't know if you've noticed it, over the course of about 3 days, and have taken that property back down to dirt. They've pulled up the asphalt foundation. They're going to be putting a different kind of foundation in there, and then we'll just all of us get to watch that get built up over time. It will be interesting to see how close the edge of the building is going to be to the roadways. You ever notice that? You get guys and they build up the property like right up to the edge. I like being able to see around that corner, be able to see what's going on. So I hope they keep a little bit more of a parking lot in the area. Where was I thinking? I was thinking about something else. I got you. I was thinking about something else and remarking in my head that they need to do more for parking in that area, because it just looks like it's going to be so busy. I'll remember in a minute. But anyway, I wanted to make sure that this got on the air. Got a guy was talking about him last hour with Blake Watson, Nate St. Nicholas, and Nate, I think, is the point guy for a fundraising that is being done to benefit Zach Sanchez. And anybody knows Zach or Cy or his mom, Min. You know them on Facebook and in social media, and probably in real life. You know that Zach is in literally a battle for his life. He's got a specific kind of cancer that is peculiarly evil. And there's a lot of people that are throwing support in that direction. And like all medical maladies, it's an expensive one. And so they're looking to raise some funds for Zach. Got Nate on the line right now with a unique proposal and a unique offering for us. Good morning, Nate.
Good morning, Ray. How you doing?
You know what? I'm doing all right. I'm hungry for some good Italian food. Know where I can get some?
Everybody is on Tuesday.
I hope so. Yeah. Tell me about the fundraiser.
Okay, so the fundraiser is for my brother Zach Nicholas, and he's currently undergoing treatment in USC in Los Angeles. And the fundraiser is to be held on May 21st. We'll be delivering lunch plates. One of the plates is penne alla vodka, and the other is spaghetti bolognese. I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, but I give my best.
Spaghetti. It's just spaghetti. It's good. It's Gabriel's, for heaven's sakes.
Yeah, no, it's some good food, and we've been getting good support from the company and then from everybody around us. So you can call me at 929-6671 if you'd like to place an order. The last day to order would be Sunday. That's what the last day we're collecting orders, so they can be delivered out on Tuesday. And if you get a plate, it comes with water and it comes with a nice little cookie. You can definitely have all that, and then it can be delivered to your workplace if you're not able to leave during lunch. But we also have pickup locations at Gabriel's in Tumon, Custom Fitness in Anigua, and FD in Minilao.
Oh, right on. Okay, so it's not one of those things where there's an army of guys like you that needs to get the food out to 1,000 different locations in the same lunch hour. People will be able to go and pick them up at satellite locations.
Yes. I mean, we still have the army of guys pushing food around for those who aren't able to leave their workplace. So we're trying to accommodate everybody as much as possible. So whatever works best for people, really.
So what's the phone number again?
929-6671.
Okay, and that's on Facebook Live. Just scroll up on the comments, and you should be able to find it. And really, really do want to get as many people as possible in support of Zach and this Herculean battle that he and I think the entire family, I think and friends, everybody seems to have got their shoulder into this cause.
Yes. We've all been supporting him. It's been a really long 4 months, but at the end of the day, we've been blessed nonetheless for all the support and everything coming from all parts of the world, especially from our home island. It's been unreal.
Good.
To say the least. So
I'm glad Guam is good, and we've got some great people around here. That, as I said, if you're not aware of the situation, you are now, and it's a $12 donation. That's all we're asking for in exchange for about $20 worth of food. So you're gonna make out on this.
Yes, exactly, and it's some good food. I've tried it myself. It's really good, so I hope people enjoy. It's a good cause. My brother's been fighting it through and through. He's currently undergoing his treatment. He's smiling all the way through as well, so any little help matters too, and just also to keep him in your prayers and in your blessings and your thoughts. It's also the world we could ask for right now too. So
absolutely. Hey, are there other fundraisings that you guys are going to be doing?
At the moment, I do not have anything planned. We have some ideas we want to get into the works, but we also, if you'd just like to make a donation, we do have a GoFundMe running along as well. It's you can search it up on the GoFundMe. It's The Man Zaki. Cancer Sucks. You can find it there just by researching it. You can also find it on the link on my Instagram if you would like to, follow me, Nate Sannic, NateSannic. So if you'd like to do that, also.
Are you on? You're on Facebook too, right? Because I was just now looking on Facebook to see if there's a link to this fundraiser or other activities that are going on. I don't see anything that I can link or share from. So if you put something up, bounce it to me, DM the post to me so I can share it. I got a lot of people following me, so I want to make sure that each one of them is aware of what's going on. Okay.
Okay, perfect. I definitely do that.
Yeah, do that, and hit me up on Instagram too. I'm Kaduka Ray on Instagram.
Kaduka Ray, perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
Happy to help out. Take care of things, and you got other fundraising activities or other ways that the community can help. Let me know about it.
I definitely will, Ray. Thank you so much for having me on the air.
No sweat, buddy. Looking forward to lunch on Tuesday. I'll see if I can get an order in this weekend.
Perfect. Thank you so much. You have a good day.
Okay, Brett.
Weekend.
I will. 888-8255-888-TALK 914, and you can help out as well. Don't wait for the share. Go ahead and start looking around and see what you can do to help folks in this community. 888-8255-888-TALK. Have I talked about everything on my table of contents today? Doubt it. Home invasion dude has a past. That's the first thing I wrote down, because that was like the first thing on the Guam Daily Post. Is you don't have to go too much further than the front page before you see something that just makes you you got to be kidding. Another one of these cases where we've got a thug that has got a criminal past that is out there and should probably have been in jail already for doing some other thug stuff. but for some reason he was out. And I'd love to peel away the layers on this onion to learn a little bit more about his criminal past and what it was, what he said to a judge or a parole officer somewhere at some point that allowed him to get out and back on the streets so that he could perpetrate a home invasion against a 68-year-old woman. Against a 68-year-old woman. Previous arrest. Wednesday's arrest wasn't the first time Tysican has been in trouble with the law. In 2011, Tysican, who had just turned 17, was arrested for his part in robbing people at the Mermaid Tavern parking lot in Agana. And there ought to be a law. We do not rob people when they're leaving a bar. You don't rob people when they're, in business, doing their business in a restroom. At any rate, he would rob people at Mermaid Tavern, the Ebenezer store in Zotnya, and the Highway 57 Club and Lounge in Mighty. Silver gun was used in those robberies. In 2013, when he was 19, pointed out in a lineup for robbing a teacher at the parking lot of an elementary school. Listen to what a brave heart this man must have. According to the magistrate's complaint then, when the teacher entered the driver's side of the vehicle, Tysican appeared and sprayed pepper spray on her face, then grabbed her purse. Wow. What a strong man. Stealing from a girl. And not even man enough to be able to do it without trying to disarm her with pepper spray.
He is some sissy's hero.
That's right. That's right. Awaiting sentencing for the 2011 incidents when that occurred. So he had already been involved in use of a weapon in a felony, but was out. This is between 2011 and 2013. He was out. He should have been in jail for his role in the armed robberies, but wasn't. Last year, while at the Department of Corrections, he was rearrested after a contraband shakedown led to the discovery of a mobile phone in a cell he shared with another inmate. Earlier this week, a man charged in another incident, John Anthony Salas, also had past burglary and theft. So he was in jail on the 2011 charges. Why was he 2013? Why was he out? So he is apparently sometime since last year rearrested on charges of smuggling contraband into the prison, but those charges either didn't stick or any additional time wasn't applied because he was back out in time to go and conduct a home invasion, looking for Josh at a lady's house when he discovered that she was alone. Perfect victim for this guy. Try this on a guy. Try this on a real man instead of going after old ladies. That's what I want to see. That's how I want to see jungle justice meted out to this guy. Wouldn't that be great? Guy shows up at your door, and while he's reaching to knock on it a second time, you open the door and you pull him inside, and go after him with a staple or a cane or a saber. We'll have sabers. That's what we'll do. It makes me crazy. Aren't you feeling that kind of craziness here, where everybody else in polite society has to arm up, has to security up, has to video surveillance up, because the criminal justice system just incapable, incompetent, perhaps impotent to deal with guys like this. So I think that's one of the interesting stories. It's going to be something that we will continue to rail on. Guys over at the Guam Daily Post in their editorial, not to take anything away from Bob Klitsky, who will later on in the program do one of these press the meat things. Judges need to get tougher on repeat criminals. That's what Guam Daily Post is saying. And it echoes the sentiments of Raymond Gibson, who's been saying this for a long, long time. What is going on? Why do we have judges that keep letting these guys out? Do they know the combination to the lock over at the Department of Corrections and let themselves in and out whenever they want to? It sure feels like that, doesn't it? It's safe to say, as they write in the editorial, it's safe to say we as a community have done our part toward creating a safer island. This is fact now. Putting more police officers on our streets. Good old investigative work by these cops, concerned citizens and their neighborhood watch vigilance, surveillance cameras, news and social media engagement to watch out for each other's safety. That's all contributed to the arrest of perpetrators who'd rather steal and harm people rather than put in an honest day's work to pay for what they need. But none of that stuff means anything when they go to the court and the people over at the court in the black robes that are supposed to be looking out for the safety of this community decide to let them go. There we go. There we go. I see it. And unfortunately, and this is another conversation that we've got to get into here. Unfortunately, what the problem is we don't vote for them. Sure, there's a thing at the election every couple of years. Do you want to retain so-and-so, and do you want to retain such and such? My guess is that, A, most people don't vote on that, and most people don't vote no on that. Who's go, oh, yeah, there's a Judge Gibson. Oh, yeah, I like that. Yeah, he's a nice guy. Okay, click. And there's no reason to look at a judge's record. And I don't know that there is a handy way to look at a judge's record. But we don't vote these people in. Everybody talks about this democracy. And we can vote for, we can nominate and vote and elect people that will work in the Consolidated Commission on Utilities and the Public Auditor and the Attorney General's office and the legislature and the governor's office.
You mean, but we don't vote the judges in here.
We don't.
It's the only place I've ever lived where you don't.
They all get appointed by somebody.
Yeah.
So if Lulian Guerrero wanted you to be a judge, she said, Mike, make you a judge.
I'd be a better judge than some of the ones they got right now. But you better build a new prison because I'm gonna be filling it up, brother.
But we don't get to vote for them. So maybe there ought to be a conversation about it's a whole third of our government that voters have no control over. We don't have much of a say in who gets nominated, who get these judgeships, number one, and number two, when we run into somebody that we don't think is doing a good job, how did they get out?
Yeah, that's.
How do we get them out from under us? How do we replace a judge that is too lenient and too soft on criminals with judges? And I'll invoke the name again. I would love for somehow or another to find a way to clone old Judge Abadi. And he was, I would like to say, a just and fair judge. If a jury of your peers found you guilty, he would look at the sentencing guidelines and apply what he thought was fair. But generally, in my recollection. And this just from reading old Guam Daily News and PDN stories from back in the past, my recollection is that there was generally, number one, a pretty stiff penalty that was applied to some of these crooks back in the day, and number two, there was always a lecture. There was almost always a lecture. Old timers will remember that. If he was going to send you up the river to the Department of Corrections, he always had something to say to you on the way out the door. And those, I would say, were I think, and chilling enough maybe to put the fear of God into some of the rest of the thugs that we had. Anybody that wasn't already lined up with drugs and all messed up from that kind of thing would generally get the message and try a little hard to be a good boy and a good girl. Not anymore. Not anymore. The message is very, very clear from the judges that you step out of line, and we're going to tell you to stop stepping out of line and give you another chance to go out there and straighten out your life, which you'll blow, and then we'll give you another chance. Don't slip, right? That's what she said. So that's where my head's at these days. 9:24 in the morning. Old Tom's on the line. Tom, you remember old Judge Abadi?
How you doing?
I'm okay.
Yeah, you reminded me of the Honorable Judge Abadi, right?
I'm thinking about him. You know what? There's another reason why I always liked Judge Abadi, and that is he was a ham radio operator. I forget what class he had and what his call sign was, but he was one of those guys that put sky iron on the roof and could talk around the world.
Am I correct to understand that his son also was a murder victim?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, his...
what happened to those murderers? Did they get life in prison without parole or what?
Oh, I'd really have to do the research on that. I don't recall life in prison. I know that there was a couple of guys that were sent to prison, and one guy that got off, and they tell me that the Sicilian mafia got to him on behalf of the judge. That's old myth and legend of the story. But yeah, there was a triple homicide in the early 70s, and I mark that time in my life as a time where Guam changed and didn't change back. It was a terrible, terrible murder of Paul's son and a couple of other kids. And wow, I remember, boy. I mean, everybody. All of a sudden, that was the high water mark of the, was the good old Guam days. The go ahead and leave your doors open at night days. We realized then that there was some really, really awful crime here on Guam, and drug addicts that had no problem going out and killing people in really, really bad ways.
Yeah. But anyway, the reason why I called is I want to ask you if you want to join our task force. I am organizing a vigilante task force, and I want you to be a member. And but we're not going to be hunting down people that hasn't been adjudicated yet. We're going to wait until they get the due process of law that they deserve under the Constitution. And we're only gonna go after the ones that are already convicted by a jury of their peers.
We should be able to find a solution
to this problem because our justice system is broken.
Madame Mac, in my head, I don't know that I would be a part of a vigilante group, but I wouldn't mind being a part of kind of a. They were doing this out in Barragata for a little bit. A bunch of the village men would get together at the mayor's office and do kind of a stroll patrol around the village. And, if you got 4 or 5 guys, it's the only way I can say it. You get 4 or 5 guys from the village walking around and finding people that are getting drunk underneath the trees or camping out in a bus stop or something like that. If I were to do it by myself, I'd get my butt kicked. But if I'm going out with 3 or 4 other of the village men to go out and ensure that our place is clean and safe for our children and the village women, yeah, I'd love to be a part of a group like that. Like the Guardian Angels in New York City, right?
Yeah, but I want to do it legally where they will have to go through the process of the law first, and because they are still innocent until proven guilty the way I see it. So that's why we got to give them the due process of law that they deserve.
Okay.
But anyway,
I talked with Bob Klitsky yesterday.
Listening to Bob later on.
Yeah, I was talking with Bob yesterday. He said it's okay for me to walk around with my Glock.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it like I said it yesterday. Somebody said that was
grind some to make your own pepper spray.
Antiperspirant, right on. I'll talk to you later. I wouldn't have a problem with that. 9:28 in the morning. If somebody came and said, "Look, we're organizing a group of guys. If you're not doing anything, between sunset and say, 8 o'clock at night, can we go and play? Let's just go walk around the village. And if you see somebody that looks like they are out of place or looks like they're possibly up to some kind of mischief, a one-on-one situation probably wouldn't be healthy. But if you got 2 or 3, big village men. Or small village guys like me with the gun, then it's possible that we might be able to correct the attitudes of certain individuals. I'm not talking about physically getting into anything. I'm just saying go up to somebody and say, "What are you doing here at the bus stop?"
Would you get embarrassed if somebody walked up to you and said, "Ray, your Glock is showing"?
No, I think I'd be all right with that. I don't know. Warriors come out and play. Torches and pitchforks. I don't know if I want to. That's not where my head is at, but I can see the frustration, and I can feel the frustration from a lot of people. Look, I'm telling you, I went out, and now I'm a gadget guy. I'm a gadget dude to begin with. Anybody knows me knows I love my toys. So I went out yesterday and realizing that there was a gap in my security coverage for the house, bought myself one of these Ring gizmos. And it's a doorbell, basically. And if you've already got an existing doorbell, you can actually use the wires. You can use the existing wiring to plug into a certain version of this Ring doorbell. So that you don't have to put batteries or anything like that. It just always takes the charge off the same adapter that the Bell thing did. So very, very cool technology that is out there. $199 over at Home Depot for the version that I got, and it took me 5 minutes to install. The only reason why it took a little longer than normal was because the battery that goes in it needed to get a charge. So I stuck the thing in, and it comes with everything. These guys, they literally think about everything. So for $199, you get a gizmo. If you've got Wi-Fi at the house, that's what it will talk to. So you can go back and forth and see what's going on in the house. When somebody presses the button, it will send you a message. If somebody breaks the plane on the motion sensor, you'll get some kind of a message, and then you can look at it on your gizmo on your app. In fact, I'm going to bring that up again. I showed you this already once, but I'm just showing off now because I really, really like this technology. And so when somebody comes to your door, like that Jughead did over at my place the other night, not only do you, get video of him, right? You get the video of the guy, but you will also be able to contact him. You'll be able to talk to him and tell him that Jenna is not there. I gotta wiggle my phone here so I can make it go sideways. Don't you hate it when that happens? You're going, okay, we'll do this, and then we'll turn it sideways, and then the frame will adjust. This one's not doing it for whatever reason. But that's the front door of the house right now. And if there was somebody there, I could press a button and talk to them and say, hey, what are you doing at my house? How come you were there? You're not supposed to be there. Or if it's a mailman, just say, leave the package there. I'll come out and get it in a couple of minutes. And you can make out virtually everything that's happening in the neighborhood. There was a car passing by a second ago, and if I show that long enough, no doubt there will be another car that goes by on the street. But nice clear picture of my dying yard. There's just a little bit of green left in it. But one of these days, it could get better. Like I said, you can buy it over at Home Depot, $199, and the installation will take seconds. I don't make any money on this, but I want you to help. But it's $199 that I'm not going to say I wouldn't have spent, because I just got finished telling you I'm a gadget guy, and this is a pretty cool gadget. But we shouldn't need to worry about surveillance, huh? We shouldn't need to have to worry about a highfalutin alarm system at the house that if somebody breaks the plane on a motion sensor inside the house or breaks a window or something like that, then I get a telephone call or somebody will call the police. We shouldn't have to live like that. But we do because there's too many people looking the other way. Joe Cruz, Guardian Angels in New NYC. I can wear a beret and walk the streets with a gang of do-gooders. That's what we'll call ourselves. It's the MTM do-gooders. And we'll all be remnants of the old Tota nomads, right? Anyway, 9:33 in the morning. So that is some of the things that are running around in my head. I've not really had a chance to talk about this yet all day, but there's apparently tax refunds that they're going to be sending out. June 29th is the date that they are working through. What was the number last week? $6 million, something like that went out. It's supposed to be another $4 million, but I don't know when that's going to take place. We'll see what happens. I'm looking at somebody had sent me something on on the WhatsApp that I actually had to take down. It was just in the WhatsApp, but there was always the possibility that it could accidentally go on the air. But it was somebody had sent me a picture that borderline pornographic. You can send those to me, but send them to my personal WhatsApp. Don't send them to the radio station WhatsApp. 988-5874. That's right up there with kids. Don't try this at home. Try it at your friend's house.
Don't send them to me. My wife will know.
9:34 in the morning. We'll get to Mark in just a second, but that's iConnect time. Swing by the nearest iConnect and learn about great packages that they've got hooked up for you. We can send you details on internet and mobile packages that won't cost you an arm and a leg. That's what they'll do for you. Call them at 888-8888.
The Crazy 19 menu at King's Restaurants is back with all your breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites. Fun pancakes, tasty sandwiches, and the local dishes you crave for a limited time on the Crazy 19 menu at King's.
Experience the Take Care difference. Take Care members can count on accessing a high-quality, credentialed network of on-island providers, including the convenient one-stop FHP Health Center and urgent care, access to an extensive off-island network of providers, and the island's largest offering of free fitness classes and health education programs. You can count on Take Care to deliver comprehensive, accredited insurance coverage and quality health care when and where you need it. Take Care. Our island, your health plan. Learn more at takecareasia.com.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,600 by calling Family Finance in Agutya at 475-4545, Upper Tumon at 647-5626, or in Dededo, 633-4473. Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959.
It's Micronesia Mall's 30th anniversary, and to celebrate, we are giving away a new Kia Soul LX, a Mazda 3i Sport, the popular Honda Civic LX, and 30 Manila Flyaways during our 30th anniversary Drive-Away Flyaway. Win 3 great cars from Triple J Auto Group, 30 Flyaways from Philippine Airlines, plus thousands of prizes from Burger King and Foot Locker when you play Micronesia Mall's 30th anniversary Drive-Away Flyaway.
The drawing for the Mazda CX-5 is tomorrow at 2 p.m. You must be present to win.
Not enough Gary Owens on that, buddy. We talked about this.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't have my hand over my ear.
And try it again?
No.
Come on, Phil's listening. Come on, one more time. When's the drawing?
That's tomorrow, 2 p.m.
888-8255. See what I got to work with? You see what's going on here? 936. Insubordination. What can I say? I do want to put something. I can't obviously put the porno picture up on the Facebook Live. Technically, I can.
Yeah,
yeah, I can do it once. But let me give you something else that is cool to look at. Buddy of mine, I think it was Rudy Magallanes that found this on the web. It is a map. And you can clearly see it is a map of the Marianas, and those lines there. I was going to say, what do you suppose those lines represent coming into, out, and through the island of Guam? Do you recognize that? They are submarine cables. They are data cables that carry massive amounts of data between various points on the planet and other various points on the planet, and they go through Guam. And I think that is absolutely terrific. So if you ever wanted to see what it looked like, where they were coming from, where they were going, there is a website that you can go to. Just do a Google for telegeography submarine cable map. And my understanding is that this thing is constantly updated. So if you ever had any kind of interest in that kind of thing, that's where you go. My buddy Mark's on the line.
Raymond.
Dude, what you up to?
I just sent you something to look at. It's eye candy, but yeah, you can't put it on Facebook Live. But actually, I
wait, because now everybody's going to want to know. Everybody's going to go, what did Mark send? What is that? Where did you send it? Did you send it to my personal or?
Of course.
Okay.
So no, but the reason I'm calling is because you're not on Sunday. So Sunday is my 4th grandson, but 5th grandchild's birthday, Danny James Jones Cruz, and I just wanted to wish him happy birthday. He's an avid listener of the show when I am taking him to daycare. So yeah, he listens to you along with me.
Oh, that's neat. So we're raising another. I was going to say person like us. Well, I don't know. You know, I identify conservative, but there's so many values that are being espoused by conservatives that I just kind of roll my eyes at those. You know, the same thing every once in a while. A liberal will come up with something. I just go, my eyes roll at it.
Yeah.
And just can I can I avoid the debate on whatever it is, if it's going to be abortion or who gets to use what bathrooms or why it is that we got boys that identify with as girls that are now champions in all kinds of different what should be women's sports, but nobody's got the temerity to tell them, no, you have a ding-ding, you cannot play in that league.
Yeah, and no, and actually, it was the Powerlifting Federation, the U.S. Powerlifting Federation, who came out and said, no, it doesn't matter if you have the operation. It doesn't matter if your hormone levels, because of the drugs you're taking, are the same as a woman. You were born with higher density in your bones, and your musculature is way stronger than whatever a woman could come up with without chemical enhancements. So if a woman can't compete with chemical enhancements, why should you be given that? So Powerlifting Federation, yeah, they've come out, and I hope that's the one thing I wanted to ask the IOC president was, that was the stupidest thing you guys ever did by allowing women to transgenders to compete in women's sports.
Yeah, well, and not that I don't necessarily have anything that you identify with whatever you want to. I don't have a problem with that. But in fact, if you want to be competitive in sports, then maybe there ought to be a league that for just transgendered individuals.
Exactly.
So we got here's the men's league over here, and the women are over here, and if you are playing as a woman that wants to be identifies as a man, or a man that identifies as a woman, we've got a separate category for you to participate in.
You have just confused me.
It's 9:41 and counting. We're 19 minutes away from the weekend. Just try to stay with me for a little bit. Just hang in a little bit longer.
Take care, guys.
I will. You have a good weekend. Hope I see you out there somewhere. And again, the warning is, if you see me out after midnight anywhere on Guam, send me home. Nothing good happens after midnight. Thanks. I appreciate that. Okay, so this is me resisting the temptation to open my personal WhatsApp and see what it was that Mark sent me.
Yeah, you got the itchy finger. You just like.
But you know what's going to happen? It's going to be one of those things where it doesn't make any noise at first, and then it will be like raunchy sex sounds. You ever get those? Like your friends will send you those because they're not really your friends. Yeah. I don't know what's worse is people that will send me a video of something. It's, hey, look at this train off in the distance. Look at the train off in the distance. And then all of a sudden, 20 seconds in, after you're all comfortable, there's this scary face. I hate that. Yeah, I hate that. And the other one is, oh, look at this pretty train in the distance. Oh, look at this beautiful scenery. And then all of a sudden we got this noise, and it sounds like a donkey. That one.
Yeah, but it's.
And there you are.
Worse if it happens in church.
Who says I'm having too much extra Joss? Is that somebody's asking if I'm? I haven't been taking extra Joss lately. A personal conversation between me and a cycling buddy of mine, and we're both fans of extra Joss, which is a thing. It's a formulation. It's basically Red Bull in powder form. Right? And there's a lot of rumors floating around in some places that have banned it. And they've banned it not necessarily because it's Red Bull in powder form. And people, they banned it because there's an ingredient in it. One of like a beeswax or
unicorn horns.
Unicorn horns inside of it that some people have a very nasty allergic reaction to, i.e. it'll kill them. And I think there is at least one documented case of somebody that got this stuff from extra Joss and actually died from it.
Wow.
But it's one of these. It's like rare as a unicorn, obviously, but still, it happened, and people freaked out about it. And there's some countries in the world where you cannot import extra Joss. Generally, you can find it anywhere in the Philippines, and there's a couple of stores here on Guam that will sell extra Joss. And yeah, it does sound like I've had 4 or 5 cups of extra Joss. I'm just excited. I'm a hyper guy. I like what I do. I like being able to play around on the radio. So yeah, I might sound like I am on speed, but I'm not. But I have not been taking extra Joss lately. My new Energizer in the morning, and I'm almost hesitant to say what it is, because I'm worried that then everybody will start buying it. Then I won't be able to find it in the stores. But I will. I will suggest that you try it. You can find it at 76 Circle K. I know because I bought it there in the past. Some mom and pop stores, some of the Korean store down the street from where you live, there's a very good chance that they may have it. Comes in a red box. I want to say there's about 10 bottles of Oro no Mensi. Are you familiar with it? I'll bring some. It's like $2 at the gas station, maybe $2.50 at the gas station. But it is there's supposedly vitamin C in it, and there's some sugar in it, and it tastes like Mountain Dew a little bit. It doesn't have a medicine-y flavor, doesn't have a medicine-y taste. I've discovered in, I don't know, the last couple of months that I've been taking it, it really is a nice way to kind of get going in the morning. So I have
ginseng or something. I mean, because ginseng tends to be a little easier on the system than caffeine and others.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is it doesn't jolt me.
Yeah.
Which is what I like about it. You know, it's just kind of you take some of this stuff and then pretty soon you're starting to feel up. You're starting to feel chipper. You know, we'll wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and it's nice to have just another something. I still have my coffee. I still will have about 4 cups of coffee a day, and that's it. That's it. Just whatever goes in this, that's all the coffee I'm going to need for the day, and a bottle of the Orornomensi, and that's what gets me going. So it's not extra Joss. Could still. I've still got access to the extra Joss.
I wouldn't do both at the same time.
I'm going to try it. I want to make the drink.
You are your colors, bro.
Right? I want to see. This is the horns are coming out. I want to make the extra Joss using Orornomensi. That's what I want to do and see what happens. But I got to do it like when I'm near your place because you live near the hospital.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't want to do that just like at the house because I can see myself falling on the ground and just vibrating for an hour until this stuff goes away. Can I ever tell you the first time I ever had like Monster Energy drink? It was a promo. I was working at the time as a Power 98, and I was doing a live broadcast from a gas station. And one of the promos that were going on at the gas station was that they were giving away samples of this energy drink. And so I got one of them, and I drank it down, and it tasted good, and I felt great after that. And I said, I think I'm going to have another one. Oh. And so I had another one of these Monster Energy drinks. I had 2 of them going, and I was literally vibrating. I was, I just sweating. I'm getting sweaty palms just talking about it, right? And I thought, okay, maybe I shouldn't have ought to done that. Maybe I shouldn't have ought to done that. And you start reading up on this stuff and you go, yeah, I guess that will have some kind of an impact on you. I went to Kmart. I was vibrating in time with the fluorescent lights. It was on and off. It was on. It was like, it was running a fan in front of a television set. Everything was blinking. And I thought, I really need to go and lay down. Of course, you keep going and lay down. And there's nothing.
Reviewing your life choices.
It's not like you can sleep that stuff off, man. Anyway, 9:47 in the morning. There's bound to be more in the table of contents that I was looking at. Oh, the mayors, the bathrooms are going to be open. Kelly Marsh, that's going to be her claim to fame in the 35th Guam legislature. We've gotten it now to a point where we've let go of all of the other responsibilities of maintaining pure and clean bathrooms on Guam. We're going to make it so that people can go shishi in the mayor's offices and at community centers all around the island. Might be tricky in some places because the tourists are not necessarily going to visit the mayor's office. That's not why they're in the village. But maybe it will help in the short term until we can figure something out that gets us a better handle on the bathrooms. I've been an advocate for just bulldoze them. We're not good at it. We're not good at maintaining things around here. We're not good at providing just the general and regular upkeep of bathroom facilities. I have no idea how it's done so well in other places, but we suck at it here. So, you know what? Let's just bulldoze them, and we'll seal up all of the connections into the sewer systems and the water systems, and we'll just go, we can't have nice things here. Sorry. And they'll say, but what about the tourists who might still want to use a bathroom? With the remaining money that we have that we're not using for maintenance, we'll go to somebody and have them drop off porta potties. And that's it. Every couple of days, you take out, you put a new honey bucket there, and you take out the old one and clean that thing up. And maybe that will be the thing until we come up with another idea. And there's some good ones that are being floated around here. Just have somebody that might have a financial model that will work. Say over at the Inarahan pools, there ought to be a mechanism where we can have somebody oversee the Inarahan pools in exchange for, say, an exclusive contract to be able to sell souvenirs with the words Inarahan Pool emblazoned on them, and let them keep track of everything. And like I said, in exchange for the exclusive for hot dogs and soft drinks and cold water for the tourists and maybe some Orornomensi then they can keep track of the bathrooms as well. 10 away from the top of the hour. Let me take a quick break and figure out how I'm going to kill the next 10 minutes of premium talk radio.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on the Point. Half a day. I'm Rita Tidegli of Manila, and this is where I start my day, listening to the voices of our community and sharing thoughts about issues that affect all of us. It all boils down to our people and our land. Ingatan ang iyong tahanan. Protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
If you've ever struggled for breath, you know what a scary experience it is. Whether you have asthma, emphysema, COPD, lung cancer, or another respiratory illness, the right medical treatment makes all the difference. GRMC's Pulmonology Clinic has the latest technology and respiratory equipment, staffed by world-class pulmonologists. Make an appointment today with GRMC's Pulmonology Clinic and start breathing easier. GRMC, where patients are partners.
Let's go for a drive.
Let's take a stroll. Let's gallivant. Let's go cruising.
We all have different ways to describe how we get up and go in our cars. But whatever you may call it, you can do more of it when you save 6% off your fuel purchases at any Shell station when you use your eligible Bank of Guam Visa and MasterCard credit cards. So stop by any Guam or CNMI Shell station and start saving today. Visit bankofguam.com for more information. Terms and conditions apply. Bank of Guam, the People's Bank. Member FDIC.
Legends aren't born, they are made. And during our Jeep Celebration event at Cars Plus and Mighty, you'll receive up to $6,000 in accessories with the purchase of a new Jeep Wrangler Motor Trend SUV of the year. Customize your new Jeep to the way you want it. Or how about a new Jeep Grand Cherokee? Save up to $5,000. Or save up to $7,500 on a new Jeep Compass Sport. It's our Jeep Celebration event going on now at Cars Plus and Mighty. Cars Plus, driven by you. Accessory special cannot be combined with other offers. See dealer for details.
Business travel just got easier. Take your data plan with you for only $10 a day to all 17 Data2Go destinations. Never worry about additional data roaming charges when you go where your business needs you. The US, China, Thailand, and so much more. Have the assurance you need to check emails, surf the web, and stay connected. Call 688-2677 today to make sure your account is Data2Go ready. Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Interesting question, Lacia. I don't know the answer. Lacia Casil says, I'm training for Cocos Crossing. Which category should I enter in? I don't know. Talk to the guys, talk to the girls, see how they feel about it. 9:52 in the morning, 888-825-5888-TALK. Pam Duvall refers to that as cross-training. Brad Hoganson says, good morning, Ray, from Brandy Pond, Naples, Maine. I wanted to say nipples. Joe Cruz with an interesting supposition here says, if you can't keep public restrooms open for visitors, I'll start an air P&P, and tourists can stop by my house to number one and pee for a fee. They could pass through my kitchen. They could buy coffee and Rice Krispie treats for $10, and the toilet paper and the baby wipes will have credit card swipers on them. Just trying to help. And as I said, Phil Schrage from the Micronesia Mall is actually listening to the broadcast this morning and says the tag was better than he could do for sure. But again, what kind of car are they giving away over at the mall tomorrow at 2 o'clock? Must be present to win.
Mazda CX-5.
Mazda CX-5.
Yeah,
okay,
it's a very cool car.
Yeah, I think in fact I'm sure I've seen that as I was walking around the Micronesia Mall. A lot going on this weekend.
You must be present to win.
That's the important thing. So yeah, Phil, well, we got you hooked up. We got you taken care of, as I always have, my friend. 9:53. There were a couple of other things I thought were interesting in the table of contents this morning that I haven't had a chance to riff on yet. The Micronesia Island Fair is going to be coming up, and if you've seen the story, one of the things that might catch you as interesting, and it certainly caught me kind of by surprise. It looks like they're going to be doing it at the Plaza de España, right there downtown, and where the old Spanish administration was. You got the post office over here, and the museum over there, and the legislature over there, and right across from that is the Plaza de España. And I don't necessarily have a problem with it. I like the idea that they're going to be bringing some kind of an attraction back to that area. And as nice as it has always been kind of a place where there were festivals and where there were fun things to do, going back to even before the Second World War. So, yeah, that's groovy. Let's go do that there. But there's no bathroom. That I'm aware of, there's no bathroom there. It used to be if you really needed to, you could go from the Plaza de España right next door to the old administration building. But Roy Respicio decided that they wanted to bulldoze that a few years ago because, I don't know, I guess they just got tired of looking at it, and they said that there was, I don't know, asbestos or something, and it was a danger for the people that were working there, and we have to bulldoze this. And just like that, one of my, I always liked the way the place looked. I always thought that the old administration building actually was kind of, I don't know, pretty, if you will. It had an interesting breezeway up on the first and the second floor. And my dad worked there once upon a time when he was working with Governor Carlos Camacho and a whole bunch of governors that had used that as their office space. And can you imagine a time where virtually all of the administrative functions of the government of Guam was all in one place? When I learned to when I took my driver's license exam in 1975, 76, I took it in that building. There was a once upon a time where you could walk right up to the treasurer of Guam's office because Maria Duenas worked in that building. And if you had questions about what was going on, needed to pay a bill, there was a window that you could stand at and pay for your business license or you know, as I said, get yourself a driver's license, something like that. It was the majority of the business of the government of Guam was done kind of there. The entire police department was right across the street. It's not like we had precincts all over the island. That was just the place where the cops were. So imagine now we're talking about a different kind of Guam. I mean, it's not like you could lay that infrastructure onto Guam and say that this applies. I mean, at the time, the population couldn't have been any more than about 50,000 of us. It's grown better than 3 times that size now. So I guess there is a need for a little bit more administration. But could you, once upon a time, can you imagine a time where virtually everybody that was in charge of the government of Guam worked in the same basic building? And then it got to be so it was too big even for the administration of the Department of Education. Interesting times that we used to have once upon a time. It was nice to have everything in one spot. Convenient back then. Yeah, it was. There wasn't anything that you couldn't do in Agana at the time. You'd go check your mail over at the post office, and everybody got their mail at that post office. And you could have a conversation. And you almost still can. You almost still can. I'm just going to sit here in this warm bath of nostalgia. But one of my favorite things, and Pam and Brad and others will remember, where you could go to the old post office in Agana and check your mail. You'd run into somebody, guaranteed, and stand there at the door of the post office and have a conversation with them for a half hour. I don't know that you can still do that. I don't know if you'd still want to do that. But it was an amazing and interesting time where everybody knew everybody and everything was in walking distance to everything else. One of these days, huh? But that's the thing. Micronesian Island Fair going to be moving back into the Plaza de España and not the Paseo. I don't know where they're going to put the restroom facilities. I hope they have factored that into the process because otherwise, I guess they'd got to use the bathroom over at the church. Maybe wait a second. Didn't Carlos say visitors and everybody could use the bathrooms at the museum and at the legislature?
I think so. Otherwise, it's BYOJ.
Yeah, please remember to use the actual restroom facilities. Don't just go up to the stairs and go do your business there. Closing in on 10 o'clock in the morning. And plans for the weekend? Yeah, there's plenty of them. It could be one of those weekends where you might find me running 5Ks all over the place. There is the Mango 2K and 5K down Agate Way. That's showtime at 5, go time at 6. That's the Saturday race. There is a Sunday race as well. The Enhance Your Life. This is the SDA Clinic, and you can register there today. Epal Beach Park, Sunday Sunday morning at 5 a.m. is showtime. 6 a.m. is the go time for all of those races. This one is interesting because it's a 5K and a 7K. So if you want to stretch your legs a little bit longer and maybe participate in a race where you've got to run just as fast as a 5K, but for another mile to go, yeah, that's going to be the race to run in. 10 o'clock in the morning, the radio station is KUSG Hagutnya, and we're 93.3 The Point. Going to have Bob Klitsky on the radio at 4 o'clock this afternoon, and great talk radio in and around and through all of the live shows. You have a great weekend. Hope I see you out there somewhere. And like I said, if it's after midnight, send me home. 10 o'clock in the morning, welcome to the weekend.
Reforming immigration. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. President Trump proposing a new points-based immigration system, which would give preference to younger people and those who are proficient in English.
We will replace the existing green card categories with a new visa, the Build America visa, which is what we all want to hear.
The plan does not address undocumented immigrants.